The following is a special presentation of ESPN on ABC.
We welcome you to upstate New York in the Carrier Dome, home of the Syracuse Orange. After a disappointing 0-5 season, the faithful are hoping that quarterback Perry Patterson can lead the Orange to a bowl game. Number 14 ranked Iowa, Albert Young, their leading rusher. They're from the Big Ten. They provide the challenge, looking to extend Syracuse's school record 10-game losing streak. And welcome, everybody. We are at the Carrier Dome. The students showed up about 3 hours ago for the Orange, hoping they can get out of their losing streak. The number 14 Iowa Hawkeyes looking to go 2-0 to start the season. Welcome, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. Andre Ware, Todd Harris will be joining us in just a minute. You hear the roar. The Orange takes the field. But this Iowa team, a convincing 41-7 win over Montana. Drew Tate starting quarterback. Big news today, Andre. He will not start.
Yeah, suffered an abdominal strain a couple of weeks ago. It's been bothering him, and it finally reached the point, Gary, where he's got to sit this football game out. The coaches will lean on Jason Manson, a senior quarterback. They have a lot of confidence in him. He hadn't played a whole lot of football, got in some mop-up duty last week, went 2 for 4, about 50%, but they feel like he really can control the football game. Won't be a whole lot of drop-off at that position.
That being the case, Albert Young, their leading rusher, may have a career day in carries.
Well, they planned on using Albert Young a lot to establish the line of scrimmage. He very well may set a career in terms of carries in this football game, but they want to get him started early until they get Jason Manson comfortable in this football game.
So now you look at Syracuse, they got to believe, whoa, if we drawn a break, the opponent's quarterback's not going to start, so we turn to their quarterback.
Well, you know, you look at it, it's Perry Patterson, their quarterback, played excellent in the first half last week against Wake Forest, and then a huge drop-off in the second half of that football team. The weight is on his shoulders, so he's got to perform for this Syracuse offense in order to come out of this one with a victory.
And there are a lot of guys on this offense. There were a ton of players who showed up last week. Can you get any chemistry when that's happening, Todd?
What, you spend any time with Syracuse head coach Greg Robinson, and despite the 10-game losing streak, you can't help but be a believer. This guy has so much enthusiasm, and he's had so much success at past programs. But his problem is the same problem that haunted me all through college: chemistry. I couldn't figure it out, and today he's going to have to figure it out. As you pointed out, Gary, they used 48 different players in the first half of last week's loss to Wake Forest. And today they will use 7 different offensive linemen, quite possibly as many as 8. So, Andre, the question to you is, can you develop any kind of chemistry, cohesiveness when you're shuttling that many players in and out of the field?
Well, I really don't think so, Todd. You know, Gary, you look at it, 7 offensive linemen. If I'm the quarterback, I want to know the 5 guys that are protecting me each and every down and not have them shuffle into the game. It kind of thwarts my comfort level, so to speak. A little uneasy in the pocket if you're shuffling linemen in. That means you haven't settled on the top 5.
Well, they're still going to rotate people if they hold true to what they told us before the game. For Syracuse, is it their day with the opposing quarterback out? Well, the fire's in their eyes as we get set to go.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
They are fired up here at Syracuse. Once the announcements were made on who the starters were, you could hear a gasp from the Iowa fans, and there are lots of them, and a cheer from the Syracuse fans going, oh my gosh, maybe we got a shot here. Well, we'll see. The flip, Syracuse won it. They deferred to the second half. Todd Harris, how about the QB?
Well, Gary, I talked to Coach Ferentz just moments ago, and he told me it doesn't matter who they were playing today. That did not factor into his decision to pull out Drew Tate. He said it's something where I've got to shut him down because we've got 10 more games to play, and we're going to need him. The good news for Iowa, though, they get their all big-time sackmaster stud and defensive lineman Kenny Awebama. He is back from suspension, as is wideout Herb Grigsby. So while they lose 1 big player, they get 2 back.
All right, let's take a look. Here's the IBM Star Watch, and you will be watching a lot of them today. Albert Young, you may hear his name every play offensively, and Chandler catching the ball.
Especially early in this football game. Want to establish the line of scrimmage, going to run the football with Albert Young. And then Scott Chandler in the pass game, 4 receptions last week, had a big touchdown catch. They will rely on him to control the middle of the field.
All right, Iowa's going to get the football first, so we're going to have a chance to see that quarterback. Sims will be on the near side, back to get it. it. And Sean Green on the far side. Green is their better returner. Green comes up short kick. He will take that at the 6-yard line to the 10. Syracuse good coverage to start it out. He will not get to the 20-yard line. Looks like the 18 where they will go 1st and 10 as Jeremy Sellers moved in and put the hit on. Here's the lineup for Iowa. None more important than Manson at the top, who will make his first start at quarterback. What a day for him from Bloomfield, Connecticut. He's actually got folks on hand to watch this game who had no idea he'd be starting.
And he didn't have an idea that he was going to start. And I tell you what, it's a big afternoon, one that he is really prepared for. You talk about a lot of guys talk the talk when they're the backup quarterback, Gary. This kid prepares each and every week as if it's going to be his opportunity. Trust me, he will be ready to play in this football game.
Iowa loves to start on offense. Syracuse gave them that opportunity by deferring to the second half. They'll split 2 to the left side. He tripped as he came out of there. Throws on the first, close to the first down marker. Maybe a little short. It will depend on the stop, but Herb Grigsby, the wide receiver, hauled that one in. Let's take a look at the impact players that we are going to see, linebackers particularly.
Yeah, this is the strength of their defense. Jeremy Mackey, Kelvin Smith, and Luke Kane. Kelvin Smith, 16 tackles. Mackey right there, you see him. He's the great nephew of the former NFL Hall of Fame tight end John Mackey. So, well, a lot of talent in that football family.
2nd down and 1. Jason Manson completing the first pass he throws as the starter. King will be on the carry to the first down marker, probably over it by just enough, as Kelvin Smith, who will be teeing up today on Young. Smith, number 8, a very strong defender. He'll be in on a lot of tackles.
Yeah, he will. We mentioned it, 16 tackles last week against Wake Forest. Had a sack and a forced fumble, recovery to go with that. So you talk about a guy that will play all over the field. That linebacking core for Syracuse will be tested throughout this ball game.
Jason Manson, the quarterback, number 16, is a senior. This is the 9th time that he has played. He has been the backup quarterback all the time he's been there. Did do a little work as a receiver. He got into a blowout last week, a 41-7 win against Montana. Handoff, line of scrimmage, Young nowhere to go. Now, you know Syracuse has come out of this game saying, look, got a new quarterback. They got to settle him in. They got to give it to Young, so we're going to put 11 guys on him.
And you know what? They surprised us on first down.
Yeah, that's right.
To begin this football game. Rolled Manson out. Got him a nice, easy throw. He stumbled a little bit, but still completed the football. So that was a surprise. You want to catch the defense thinking one way and then going the other. I think he's going to be fine in this football game. The goal for Syracuse, though, stop them on first down, get to 3rd down, and then get off the football field.
2nd down and 9. Manson from under center will pull Tony Maecki back into the backfield. An extra blocker, but Young's going nowhere. Boy, the Syracuse defense is pumped. It is only the first series, but if they can hold Young in the first series, it may set the tone for the Syracuse defense for the rest of the day.
Well, you talk about some guys, Jameel McClain there, just really a lot of guys in the box right here. 7, 8 guys around the line of scrimmage, and I think this is what Syracuse is going to do. New quarterback, Gary, a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. I'm going to crowd it. We want to stop the run first, then make you one-dimensional, force you to throw the football.
3rd down and 9. Young, 3 rushes for 3 yards so far. They'll work out of the shotgun here. Manson looking over the middle, no drop, got hit. It'll be incomplete. Didn't get knocked down, but he took a little trip. Grigsby was the intended receiver, cutting across the middle, and the Syracuse defense gave up a first down, but held on this, the 2nd drive, and now they're going to have to punt it.
Well, we talked about this last night. What Syracuse needs to do is sustain that initial thrust by Iowa. Stop them early in this football game. Get some momentum early. They've done that on the first drive. Finally, they're going to get the football with some good field position. Boy, I tell you what, time of possession, field position battle, all of a sudden it's starting to turn for this Syracuse football team. And then you throw in the home field advantage. Anything can happen.
This is Andy Fernsmaker, one of the great punters in college football, 38.5 average last year. Max Mizell is calling for a fair catch. He will let it go, and boy, does Iowa get a break on that one. That ball is going to take an Iowa bounce all the way back to the 22-yard line. Fenstermaker had a pretty good kick, but with the roll a whole lot better. 48-yard punt. 13 of those came on the roll. Take a look at Syracuse offensively. Last week it was a disaster for this offensive unit.
Yeah, it really was. Only 136 yards of total offense. They only passed the football for 45 yards. So they've really got to do a better job in that category.
The wide out will be Curtis Brinkley at quarterback. Perry Patterson. Patterson will take the drop. The lefty looking, has some room, does a little short to the safety valve, and that'll bring it up to the 27-yard line as Curtis Brinkley came across the middle. Mike Klinkenborg put the hit on. Klinkenborg, one of the linebackers along with Humpel, who they are very high on, but here are the big guys.
Well, and that's the strength of the defense. They shuffle 6 guys in and out of all of who played last year, so they're a year better, a year more experienced, and they will flat out come after the quarterback. They don't need to blitz. They can get heat from the front 4 guys on the defensive line.
2nd down and 4. They bring it up to the 1st down and then some. Good run by Curtis Brinkley, who is the tailback. He had his first start last week. He is a sophomore. Syracuse has a ton of first-time guys, both sides of the football, who haven't played many games.
He's going to start left and freeze it right here, and then all of a sudden there's a hole back to the inside, and Curtis Brinkley right there going to see it and hit it. And I'll tell you what, he commits to it. When you're running the football, get it north and south. You see a hole, hit it, move the chains.
Brinkley stays in there. 2 receivers set wide side right, 1st down and 10. Patterson again back. The lefty gets good blocking over the middle and open and caught. No, incomplete on the hit. That was Tim Lane, and Marcus Pascal came in and put the pressure on and knocked it away.
Well, they've got 2 safeties that will just flat out hit you, and Marcus Pascal is one. Right here, nice corner route, good read on the part of the quarterback, and delivers the football on time. That one is one that has to be caught. He suffered last week 4 drops in the first 2.5 quarters, was criticized all week about his completion percentage, only 31% last week for Perry Patterson, but also suffered from a lot of drops. They've got to catch the football.
This will bring up a 2nd down and 10. Still pretty good field position here. They'll come Brinkley up the middle. He'll get over the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. And that is Merrick, Miguel Merrick, the senior strong safety, who moved up to put the hit on. And now Syracuse will get their first 3rd down.
Yeah, 4 new offensive linemen made their first start against Wake Forest. We mentioned it at the top that 7 offensive linemen will shuffle in and out of this football game up front for Syracuse. Mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. Justin Oaten's making the start. Marvin McCall, who had started at center last week, has a broken hand. 3rd down and 6 at the 42-yard line for Syracuse. 2 to the near side. He looks. He wants to go in the out. That's a 1st down at midfield. Breaks away. Gains some more yardage up to the 44-yard line. Rice Moss, who had 1 reception last year, picks that one up for the 1st down. Let's join Matt Wider, ESPN Studios in-game update.
All right, Gary, let's get a Taco Bell update from NC State. Score 1 for the Akron Zips. Final snap of the ball game, Dennis Kennedy, his 3rd touchdown run of the game, and Akron has just beaten NC State 2017.
That is going to be considered, obviously, an upset. A 1st down and 10.
Huge upset.
Yeah. So they take it into Iowa territory. Coming to the near side, Brinkley again. He'll gain maybe a couple on that. Curtis Brinkley's their primary carrier. He had 8 runs for 49 yards last week, and Mike Humpel, a junior, moves in to put the hit on.
Yeah, he hits the hole with great explosion. Talking to the coaching staff, shows good speed when getting there. And I'll tell you what, Syracuse won it. They were only 1 of 11 last week on 3rd down. You talk about some confidence, a nice confidence builder for Perry Patterson in this offense, converting on 3rd down and long, moving the chains. They want to stay ahead in the down and distance department.
2nd down and 8, ball at the 42-yard line. They had 5 3-and-out drives last week against Wake Forest. 5 3-and-out. They're looking downfield. Nobody open. Patterson will carry. He prefers not to do that. He is not a real running quarterback because this offense isn't set for him to do that, but he can, and he gains a couple of yards.
Yeah, he's an athletic guy. He's a big guy, dropped 15 pounds and made him a little more mobile. But right there at center, just taking one, or the guard there, Carroll Madison, took one on the chin from the big defensive lineman Mitch King, which forced Perry Patterson out of the pocket and then, already moving those big offensive line. I think you get 5 guys, you get comfortable with them, and you let them play their way into the position.
Third down, short yardage situation. Third down and 3 here. And they get splits to the near side, slotting it 2 to the short side. He's looking this way, over the middle, tries on the cutback. It'll be picked up and it'll be a first down. Down to the 28-yard line, Tim Lane. 81 wide receiver, had 3 passes caught last week for 20 yards. Gets 8 on that one.
Well, Iowa plays matchup zone, Gary, and in those zones you're going to find some holes. And talking to Perry Patterson, he said, I've got to be patient. They don't give a whole lot up over the top. They make you work the ball down the field. This is a fantastic drive, building this young man's confidence. He's patient in the pocket, just finding open receivers in the holes in the zone.
Paul Chiara is set up on the wide side. Patterson's already 3 for 4. Brickley on the carry runs into spins away rather. Chiara came into the backfield and will not get back to the original line of scrimmage. A loss there for the Iowa defense. Todd's downfield side. Todd.
Gary, Brian White, the offensive coordinator, comes to Syracuse with a simple plan to stay normal, which is in his terminology for getting good yardage on first downs. He has a formula that says if you get at least 4 yards on the first down, you stay normal with the chains, and you will win the game 60% of the time. Now, if that sounds a little too academic, well, it should be. Brian White comes to Syracuse with a degree, a BA from Harvard, a master's from Fordham, and an MBA from Notre Dame. So while he talks theory, folks around here usually say, I'll pull an E.F. Hutton and listen to what this guy has to say.
Somebody wasn't listening here, Todd, because they just had to use a timeout. They didn't want to. Syracuse came out. Perry Patterson getting ready for his 10th play of this drive. Took a look. Had 2 receivers near side that he didn't think should be there. So he takes the timeout. Syracuse driving here in the first quarter.
Checking out this morning's traffic. It's gridlocked all the way into downtown. All 4 lanes are...
A new level of strength, a new level of quality. Introducing the GM 100,000-mile warranty, a new level of confidence.
You're gonna get what you need. Gonna get what you need. You're gonna get what you need.
With courtesy transportation and roadside assistance, it's the best coverage in America from the biggest brand in America.
I've trained for this my whole life. I cannot fail. I will not fail because I am one with a can.
Dr. Pepper is giving you a shot.
Here in the Carrier Dome, celebrating its 26th year of existence, and a program at Syracuse in need of repair. 1-10, the worst record they've ever had last season in the 117-year history of the program. They've lost 10 consecutive games. You can see the empty seats. They'll be 15,000 shy, probably, of filling it up here today. They need some W's.
No, they really do. And I tell you what, you talk with Greg Robinson, the head coach, and all of a sudden, you feel like he's going to get this thing turned around. He's got a good system in place. He's finally recruiting, and all of us getting guys here. Good freshman class last year. Now it's got to translate into wins on the field.
A passing situation, 2nd down and 11. Fakes, looking downfield deep. They've got somebody open in the coffin corner. Caught at the inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. Nobody got over there on that coverage, and wide open. Hauls it in for a 25-yard gain.
And Todd talked about playing behind the chains. They were 2nd and long, and you watch the protection for Perry Patterson here. Nice play fake, but look at this right in here. A nice lane to throw in and step up, and right here, nice corner route. Gets bumped a little bit, but the ball's in the air, and a fine adjustment.
Mike Williams had not caught a pass before.
Nice.
That is his first career catch, and now Syracuse, that averaged 3 yards per snap last week against Wake Forest, has a 1st down and goal at the 5-yard line. Fullback trying to rush through. Chiara nowhere to go on that one, maybe a yard, and that's where he will be brought down. He's their big, rugged tailback.
You know, sometimes you go into games with a game plan. We want to run the football. We got to run against Iowa. We got to have 4 yards on first down, this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, Syracuse comes in here, and you got to change up things a little bit. They're throwing on first down, nice, easy passes, getting their quarterback, Perry Patterson, involved in this football game early. He's the leader offensively, and they've got Iowa right now off balance.
Chiara again is in the backfield, 2nd and goal, again at the 5-yard line. They slot it to the near side. Perry Patterson hollering out instructions here, going to try and put it in the air. Looking to the near side, everybody's covered. He may have to carry. Gets up to the 5, and that's as far as he's going to go. Inside it, maybe the 3-yard line. Mike Klinkenborg again put the hit on. He led Iowa last week with 11 tackles.
Well, you talk about a guy that just worked and worked. Perry Patterson just worked entirely hard this offseason, lost a bunch of weight, was very committed. I asked him yesterday, I said, you know, this is a new offense for you. You were recruited here to run the option. Who did you study? Matt Leinart was the guy, first name out of his mouth. All the success that he had in the offense, watched his footwork. He's gotten a lot better, and it's finally transferring over from the practice field on game day.
They better watch this clock. They're going to have to use another timeout. The first time they didn't have the lineup they wanted. The second time they were running out of time on the clock.
And it's critical. We talked about this at the top. They've got to score when they have opportunities to score. Put points on the board. That's if it's even burning a timeout.
Syracuse driving. We'll come back with a big 3rd down play.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by General Motors, a new level of quality, a new level of confidence. Singular, raising the bar. And Allstate, are you in good hands?
Syracuse 3rd down and goal from the 3. Last year, 3rd down conversions the worst in the nation, college-wise, 21%. They've got a 3rd down opportunity right here. And again, looks like they're making changes. Patterson up and down the line.
Watch the quarterback draw here.
Chiara moves way out as they put everybody on the right side, wide side here, but he's looking for the slant to the coffin corner. Up. Touchdown! No, out of bounds. Hang on. Hang on. Taj Smith tried to stay in bounds, and I think they're waving him out.
Taj Smith, a junior college transfer from Bakersfield Junior College, and you want to give your quarterback about 4 yards on the sideline so he can fade you to the corner. And right here, just kind of squeezes it down. Boy, no, wait a minute. Every play's reviewed, so we may have a review in this situation.
Here it comes. Syracuse is screaming from the bench, trying to get the attention. Greg Robinson.
Absolutely.
He wants a review on this. Now, it's reviewed anyway, but
keep in mind, you only need 1 foot down in college football, and that looks like a touchdown catch by Taj Smith.
Now, the video replay must be irrefutable evidence. There must be no question that the ruling on the field was wrong in order for it to be changed. Is this irrefutable?
Take a look right here. Just a live shot, and right here, separation, and right. He's got possession now. The foot comes down. Pause it right there. Right there. The foot is in. He's secured the football up here. It has got to be. That's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. That's irrefutable.
Yeah, that's irrefutable, my man. Another look there. He's possessed the football 1. He may have even gotten 2. Both of them down.
That's a great catch. The junior Taj Smith listed the 2nd deep on the wide receivers. The officials will now wait as the replay official. They'll keep going through this, obviously, upstairs over and over. Ron Tolbert is the referee in this game, who's on the headset right there. But I think they got a TD.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got possession of the football right there. Now the foot comes down. 1 is in, and maybe even the 2nd one is in. I mean, no question. That is a touchdown catch.
Great play by Smith. It'll be if it counts, it'll be a strong drive for Syracuse that will have been converted on the 3rd down for the touchdown. If indeed they get it, it'll be a 78-yard drive, 13 plays involved in it, and Patterson 5 out of 6 on the drive for 56 yards.
I'll tell you what, Gary, not only a well-thrown football, but a good job by the receiver. We mentioned just giving that 4 yards to the sideline so the quarterback can fade you away from the defender. And Ty Smith, out of Bakersfield Community College in California, boy, he does an excellent job giving his quarterback some room.
To the ball with 2 feet inbounds. We have a touchdown.
Yes, indeed.
Patrick Shadle, who came out to kick a field goal, is now going to stay out and try and kick an extra point.
Maybe he knew something, huh?
He'd much rather do that. It is up, and it is good. And Syracuse is on the board. And Craig Robinson could not have scripted the start to this game any better as the replay works in his favor. ESPN on ABC.
ESPN on ABC.
Last week for Perry Patterson, the quarterback for Syracuse, he went 5 for 18 in the game.
Yeah, 5 completions in this one already to 5 different receivers, and then the big touchdown throw. Excellent throw in the corner of the end zone to Ty Smith to give Syracuse a 7-0 lead in this football game.
And the sideline trying to get the fans back into this game as Syracuse is not used to leading in a football game. Now Iowa finds itself behind here as they'll get the football back. Kick going back into the end zone. Sims will down it there. So good kick by Schlickert.
You talked about Perry Patterson on that first drive. He completed passes, short, intermediate passes, and long ones down the field, moving his football team. A lot of time provided by his big offensive line. And here, the nice touch over the top to his receiver, Ty Smith, to give Syracuse the lead. Boy, was he on time and accurate with the football.
Got to make him feel so good. He had the lowest pass percentage in all of college football.
Took a beating this week, not locally as well as across the nation.
Albert Young is in the backfield. Iowa goes back to work. Drew Tate is not starting today. And up the middle, there is nothing. And they have tried to get there 3 or 4 times. Manson had trouble that time with the snap, and they were able to retain possession, but not going to go anywhere with that. He just fell forward.
And sometimes the new quarterback center exchange is the most important thing. You take it for granted a lot of times, but you have offensive linemen that are pulling. You move out a little early. He's trying to pull to get a block, and all of a sudden he short strokes it in there, and you don't have the football. You got to take care of business first.
Raphael Eubanks, the center, is only a freshman, and he's calling the line calls. You see him doing it right there, number 52. They will send the man in motion. Looking on 2nd down and 10, down deep, nowhere to go. Big hole, though. That'll be enough for the first down over the 30 and up to the 34-yard line. Good carry.
Yeah, that's what Jason Manson can provide for this Iowa Hawkeye offense, right? They're looking down the field, and there's nothing there. He can pull it down and make plays with his legs. A very, very athletic quarterback. Loves to pass the football through for only over 7,200 yards. Was 32-2-1 as a high school starter. 3-year starter in high school. So he's thrown for a lot of yards. Just doesn't have the experience on the collegiate level.
That's 15 yards he just gained. That's 2 more than he had in his entire last 3 years. In 3 years, he had picked up just about some 60 yards. Flat pass, line of scrimmage, good second effort. That is Scott Chandler, whom we talked about in the open. Their big tight end, a senior. He's got a couple of touchdowns in his career. Last year they came, and that second effort gives him some yardage.
Oh, Scott Chandler, former wide receiver, and was a big time recruit out of South Lake Carroll. An excellent program down there with Todd Dodge, who was a star quarterback at the University of Texas. A good program down there at South Lake Carroll.
It is a 2nd down and 7 for Iowa. Albert Young, their big running back, carried 19 times, gained 93 yards in the game last week in their big win against Montana. He's 3 for 3 yards so far. He'll block. Nope, comes out for the screen, and he's got a lot of people in front of him. Up to the 40, 45, and the 46-yard line. That's Albert Young. They figure if they couldn't get him through the line, we'll pass to him, and he gains 10.
Boy, Albert Young, so good in the open field. Heavily recruited, was recruited basically here by Syracuse and chose to go to Iowa, and he has been special. I remember a couple of years ago, you see Drew Tate a little bit, but Albert Young was recruited, and Iowa had 5 running backs go down. They're down to the 6th running back on the roster and basically put it on the shoulders of Drew Tate and had a successful season. But boy, they're happy to have Albert Young in the backfield.
First down and 10. They fake to Young. He'll carry. Manson looking downfield. This is a bad pass. That's going to be incomplete. Should have been intercepted. Joe Fields, the former quarterback. Manson had to know when he let that go, I am making a big mistake, and he gets away with it. It's incomplete. Matt Weiner, ESPN Studios in-game updates.
Gary, our vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the day comes from Akron quarterback Luke Getsy, who drove the Zips 67 yards in the final minute at NC State. This 10-yard scramble set up the game winner. To vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance, just log on to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac.
Yikes. How about that? NC State. It's going to be a long weekend. All right, big play here. Second down and 10. 2 receivers set to the left side. Only running back that is Young, who usually is back there, and they're going to have to take a timeout. So both of these offenses have had their problems here in the first quarter, coming out with sets that they don't like what they're seeing and having to use some timeouts. Point to make here. Syracuse, before they used a timeout to challenge that touchdown replay, had already used 2. They were almost out of timeouts. If they didn't have that one left, they would not have had a replay, and that touchdown might never have happened.
You know, I mean, you know what? I may think the replay officials up top would have caught it, but I don't mind taking timeouts when you have an opportunity to get points early in a football game.
That's why Syracuse has the 7-0 lead over 14-ranked Iowa. For the first time since 2000 for Iowa, they will have a different quarterback starting, which means they've had 2 this year. That is Drew Tate, their supposed starter. Abdominal problem is keeping him out of this game. They've told us he'll only play if it's an emergency, and I can't imagine what that's going to be.
Boy, a lot of wins from that young man. 18-7 as a starter as the University of Iowa's quarterback. So, boy, they're going to sorely miss him this afternoon.
Jason Manson on a second down and 10 into the pocket over the middle. That'll be complete to the 40-yard line, and that'll be a first down, and there's a problem. Scott Chandler is his name, 14-yard gain. How do you cover him if you are Syracuse?
Well, I tell you, you try to you start with a linebacker on him, and then you graduate to a nickelback defender. But he's just so big at 6'7", 257 that can really run. And you're going to watch him come in across the screen here, working inside. They try to run a linebacker with him. They get crossed up, and right on time with the football is Jason Manson. You know what? I go right back to Scott Chandler. Work him over because he is a big, big target.
Yeah, he's going to be a real problem. Fakes, goes the other way. Big rush. He's got to come back. Nowhere to go at the sideline. Manson running up to the 40, driven out of bounds, may have gained a yard or so, and there's the flag, and that's a big one. That's an unnecessary roughness call. It's going to go against Syracuse on a hit after the quarterback was out of bounds.
I'll tell you, it was Lee Williams, the big left end for Syracuse, and I'm not sure I agree with this call. Sometimes you get too protective of quarterbacks. He basically just had his hands on his shoulder pads. Yeah,
what are you saying?
They got to get a little tougher.
You're Andre Ware, right?
I don't agree with it. I mean, you're trying. You don't know where the sideline is. You're giving chase right here. Look, just hands on the shoulder pads right here. He's trying to let up. Manson falls down, and I think that's a bad call. You know, he's not roughing him. He just kind of let him go. Momentum takes him down. I don't agree with that call.
I have to agree with you. That was really a play that was in process when he went out of bounds. Least penalized team in the Big East, 67 yards, only 1 for 5 last week for Syracuse. That is a costly penalty. That will really move the football up. First down and 10. Iowa threatening to get this game tied up. 4 receivers. Chandler intercepted off his fingers to the 20, the 25, and up to the 30. Jerry Mackey comes away with it, and that one got tipped up in the air. A 15-yard return on the interception. interception.
He tried to go to Tony Moeki, the other tight end, in the middle of the field. And when you go in there, you better throw it with some authority, and you better know where you're going with the football. Right here, on time. Jason Manson lets it go. Well-thrown football. Tony Moeki has got to come up with that football. But how about the resilience of Jerry Mackey and this Syracuse defense? They're taking it on the chin. Iowa's driving, and what a big, big response defensively for Syracuse.
Big chance right there, loss for Iowa. Brinkley is going to be in the backfield. First down and 10 for Syracuse at their own 30-yard line as they get it back on the interception. They'll pitch, student body right. Great blocking out in front near the 40-yard line, and a flag goes down. That is Brinkley, their tailback, making just his second start. Pascal came up to put the hit on.
Well, what made this play was the block of the fullback, Stephen McDonald, outside cleaning the corner up the edge, and we're going to get holding. Boy, big loss right here for Syracuse. What a well-designed football play. But that play was made by Stephen McDonald, blocking out on the corner of the right side of the defense.
Holding. Offense number 16. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Replay, first down.
And Jeremy Horn out there trying to help his running back. You'll see him right here at the top of the screen, right here, just holding on a little bit too long, just enough jersey to draw the attention of the official.
Tough call right there.
And you know what? It is tough because you're already there as a runner. You've cleared the line of scrimmage. You're in the second wave or the second level of the defense. You want the receivers to block. Just if he's losing you, let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah, if you're losing him, let him go.
Yeah, play's already developed behind you. All right, they'll pace it off, and it will be a first down and 11 now. Brinkley again is in the backfield. They split two to the near side. Brinkley on the carry, ducks under, and another flag, and that's a legal procedure. We just get through telling you about Syracuse.
Dead ball. False start. 98 offense. 5-yard penalty.
And they come up with two consecutive penalties. That's not going to make Greg Robinson happy on the sidelines. They've got things going, and now they're going backwards.
Well, they had the big turnover. They had a nice run by Curtis Brinkley to start this drive, and all of a sudden they talked about not wanting to start behind the chains, keeping things normal. This is the farthest thing from normal when you start this drive, and 1st and 16.
Still have that first down going, but heading in the wrong direction. They got 4 up to rush from a linebacker position. They have the end coming around to the near side. 25, 30, and up to the 31. That is Rice Moss, a junior. 26 receptions last year, gets 6 on the come around as Merrick takes him down. Tonight, oh yeah, the rematch we've been waiting for. Number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Texas. Last year's winner rolled on to a national title. Will it happen again? Tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on ABC. Number 1 and number 2.
Oh, we're just warming you up for a good one later on tonight. That is going to be a good football game.
A lot to do in the national championship, maybe. This is going to bring up a 2nd down and 12. A 2nd and 12. Patterson back in the pocket. Quick drop, looks over the middle. That's batted down. He got hit too and taken down, but he hit the back of a helmet on that one.
Yeah, it looked like Kenny Iwebama, who's back in the lineup, gets a big hand on the foot. Gets pressure on Perry Patterson, but Brian Matheson, it really jumped out on film to me. I mean, he got his hands on the football, but Matheson is just explosive off the other side of that left edge, and he and Iwebama, well, I don't know of a better combination across the nation at end than those two guys.
3rd down and 10, 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. It was a touchdown in this game for Syracuse. Ball is set and ready to go again. They got to keep an eye on that game clock here on this 3rd down. They're at their own 30-yard line. Defense set to cover that far side. Wide open in the middle. He's going to have to run it. Gets away to the 40 and down to the 43 and a first down. He could have been tackled back near the line of scrimmage. Instead, he gets a 12-yard to gain. Mitch King the hit.
Well, they go that matchup zone, Iowa again, and all of a sudden there's no one to throw to. Perry Patterson heads up right here. Step up in the pocket, eyes down the field, and nice move. You see that, pulls it down. Edmund Miles makes him miss, which gives him just enough to get the first down for Syracuse.
Patterson has had a chance to run the football a couple of times. Last week he carried 7 times for 18 yards, but when you put in the losses, he had a net of -24. Much better today. He's 3 for 19. when he's running the football. First down and 10, 2 split each way, and the come in, another first down. That'll be at the 46-yard line into Iowa territory.
You know, football teams improve from week 1 to week 2 dramatically, and this Syracuse football team really has, especially the play of their quarterback, Perry Patterson, has had an opportunity to study some film. Right here, on time, nice little slant route to LeVar Lebdell, and on time with the football. But my point is that he has had an opportunity to study film. He was this real close last week to having a fabulous game. Couple of drop passes. All of a sudden, he's completing them here in the first half of this one.
Consecutive 12-yard gains for Syracuse. They'll run this one and effectively up to the close to the 40-yard line. Brinkley again on the carry. Brinkley's going to be their running back, and Pascal's the man who's got him lined up. Those two have already met about 3 times in the final minute of this first quarter.
And DeLon Carter's another guy that they'll shovel in, a true freshman, as well as Paul Tierra. We saw him in this football game as well. He gives Curtis Brinkley a rest every now and then, but Brinkley is the guy. When you watch film on Syracuse, explosive, really jumps off the charts at you. And now they've got Carter, the freshman, in the football game.
5 carries, 28 yards so far for Brinkley in the game. The pitch will come back. Looks like they might have wanted a reverse. That's going to go nowhere. That is DeLon Carter, a running back who they have tons of hopes for in the future, who suddenly finds himself here in this football game. We did not expect to see him in this game, at least not early.
Yeah, he could be the every down guy at some point. He was a big-time recruit last year for Greg Robinson, over 2,700 yards and 49 touchdowns as a senior. You talk about getting it done.
They are alive at Syracuse. A 3-yard touchdown pass on a 3rd down in the first quarter has given Syracuse the lead. Last season, going 1-10, Syracuse did not have a scoring drive that went 13 plays. The touchdown in this game, 13 plays. They got the TD. They've got the lead going here to the second quarter.
You know, you're talking about drinking the Kool-Aid sometimes going in, and you hear about Syracuse and you accept, well, the coaches are saying this. You felt like they were going to play well in this football game. I bought into it, and so far, so good.
Perry Patterson, they've kept Carter in there, the youngster who we saw earlier. Perry Patterson back, takes the sideline route, and that'll be incomplete up near the first down marker. Rice Moss, the wide receiver intended. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Well, you see the rushing yards there for Syracuse, basically dominating in total yards at 120 here. And the 3rd down conversions, 2 of 4 in this football game, and that's an area where they really wanted to have some success.
Brendan Carney's come in to do the kicking, his 37th consecutive start for this team. Brodell and Young will be, or just one back. Andy Brodell's going to be back for Iowa, standing at his own 10-yard line. High snap. Good haul down and a good high kick. And that will bounce into the end zone. So Iowa gets the break on that one. Wasn't going to be a return. Iowa will get it. 1st and 10 at their own 20. Just underway here in the second half. Great to have you with us. Syracuse leading Iowa. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. Where Todd Harris with you. Syracuse has the 7-0 lead just underway here in the second quarter. Number 14 Iowa's got the football, and they'll come out here with a 1st down and 10. Try and get some motion going here, and perhaps more importantly control the football, because Syracuse in the first quarter dominated in possession. Looking down deep, going to try and lob one, and that's going to be way overthrown down at the 40-yard line. Herb Grigsby, the intended receiver, but he was well over him and had a lot of time to throw that time. Joe Fields on the coverage. There's the starter, Drew Tate, who's not starting. Abdominal muscle problem. They believe it's been about a couple of weeks that he's had it. First time, though, today that they announced he would not be playing.
Yeah, it's played through it last week and has been, nagging him for a couple of weeks, and finally got to the point where Coach Ferentz said, look, we got to rest him. Otherwise, it'll nag into the rest of the football season. They don't want to have it pop up later.
Manson will hand this one off. King trying to find some yardage. There is none. Mercy I'm telling you, that's Tony Jenkins on the tackle in the first quarter. Here's a guy who has 100-yard games game after game. He's got about 4 yards total. And with Tate out of there, you see what they lose.
Yeah, and last week he completed passes to 9 different receivers. You see they're second on the touchdown list, trailing only Chuck Long at Iowa. Has had great success on the football field. He is by far their leader at quarterback.
This is a 3rd down and 9. Syracuse fans rocking. Big rush, but they went around him. Manson looking downfield as that big end open at midfield. Caught for a first down. Scott Chandler, when you look out there,
yes,
you can see what the quarterback sees, and that's about a head and shoulders above everybody else.
Scott Chandler is 6'7", 257, playing tight end and runs like a wide receiver. And when things break down, you're supposed to find an area for your quarterback. Take off on one side, cross on the other. Right here, you see him step up, Jason Manson. But then right there, Scott Chandler with the presence in mind to turn the ball, turn his route up the field, and makes a play for his quarterback, Jason Manson, to keep this drive going.
He had 4 receptions, 44 yards last week. 3rd catch, 28 yards on that play. He's already up close to 50. Nowhere to go in the running game unless you give it a second effort. 45-yard line, a gain of about 5. Albert Young. They are all over him, but he still gets yardage. Todd Harris.
Well, Gary, I had a chance to talk with Coach Kirk Ferentz before the game, and he was concerned about his quarterback, Drew Tate, in that he would not be able to play. But as I said at the top of the show, he said, it doesn't matter who we're playing today. We just had to rest him. I said, how do you feel about Jason Manson? He said, if we lose the game today, it will not be because of Jason Manson. He comes in prepared. He is fully ready, and I'm fully confident to hand him over the keys.
Yeah, you can say that, and he's prepared and all that, but if you start pressing, and he's thrown some passes that have been questionable in the interception, it really wasn't his fault. One bad pass, you just don't want the senior to start
Second and
pressing.
6, big rush and a sack all the way back at the 41-yard line. Jamel McClain, the junior, right in.
But maybe held it a little bit too long. As a quarterback, you have that clock in the back of your head. You get back, you can pat it down one time, move around, and all of a sudden you're either going to run or throw the football away. And he's trying to get through his reads. You'll see it here. Nice drop right in the back of the pocket here. And he's waiting. Good coverage. Zone coverage here. You got everything covered up on the outside. Nowhere to go with the football for Jason Manson.
They lost 10. It is a 3rd down and 16 for Iowa. 3 sacks last week for Syracuse, and they get one there. Back into the pocket. Manson looking over the middle. Incomplete. He tried to go short to Albert Young because all the deep receivers were covered. It'll bring up a 4th down.
Boy, they played 4 across right there, just 4 guys deep and playing zone underneath it, and really just trying to keep everything in front of the down and distance marker to force Iowa to check the football down, which he tried to do. Just came up incomplete. Syracuse playing some inspired football here in this first half.
Kyle Schlecker is on, or Andy Fenstermaker rather has come on to do the punting, and gets a high kick, and a no fair catch called for as Max Meisel figured at, well, what, 4'8", 5'4". He might be able to sneak under him. He couldn't do it. Speaking of 5'4", how about 44? What does it mean at Syracuse? We'll tell you when we come back.
This is not good. What if I get hurt and can't work? Wait, I have...
The number 44 carries a significant meaning at Syracuse. Perhaps the best running back of all time, Jim Brown, wore it in the mid-50s. He led Syracuse to national prominence. The late Ernie Davis took the number in 59, starred for a team that won Syracuse's only national championship, and in 61 he won the Heisman. Floyd Little was a 3-time All-American, also considered the best kick returner Syracuse ever had. All 3 running backs inducted into the College Hall of Fame. 44, the number they wore, heroes of the program. And here in Syracuse, nobody's going to wear that number again, because with the likes of Brown, there's Davis, there's Brown, and the last person who ever wore this, there it is, Not one of the bigger stars here. In fact, in another sport.
I think Rob Conrad actually he was the last to wear it as a Syracuse football player.
Nobody's going to wear it in any sport again.
That's right. Nobody's wearing it again.
If you want to buy it and wear it in the seats, you're okay. Chiara is out there. He is in the backfield as Syracuse gets a first down and 10 to start a new drive. They fake to Chiara, looking deep. Boy, did he hold on to that one, and the receiver's being held too. No flag. That was Rice Moss. I mean, he faked out just about everybody except Charles Godfrey, the defender, who stayed with Moss all the way downfield about 40 yards.
Yeah, Charles Godfrey grabbed a handful of jersey. Didn't get a call, but that's an impressive trio right there, my friend.
Three great running backs right there. And Jim Brown, of course, also a great lacrosse player, maybe the greatest lacrosse player in college history, and played varsity basketball for a year. And if Jim Brown's name is there, where is Sam Huff's name? This will bring up a second down and a 10. Two receivers to the near side. They'll run that two-man I formation. And off to the second man through and up to about the 25-yard line. Chiara, not a lot of room to go there. And there you see worn by. The zip code got changed. The phone system got changed. Number retired. So 44 forever will just hang in the rafters. Right now, Syracuse wants to try and keep a drive alive. This thing may settle down a little bit. Syracuse came in, obviously, all pumped up, knowing that Iowa's starting quarterback was going to be out. They got the good first drive going. Perry Patterson, their quarterback, has had a good first half so far. But now Iowa's defense starting to rise to the occasion here. And now Syracuse got to start grinding this out. So it's going to be a third down and 8. Two receivers on that wide side for him. Patterson, a quick look in. That'll be caught, but it's not anywhere near enough for a first down at the 30-yard line. Tim Lane on the reception.
Yeah, I got quick heat and had to really get the football off a little earlier than he wanted to. Didn't give the route time to develop down the field. Was trying to get inside position and drag Tim Lane across the formation. But Iowa doing a good job in that matchup zone of rallying up and stopping him just short of the first down.
Now this game starts to settle in. Another high snap hauled down. Brendan Carney gets off a booming kick back to the 20-yard line. Brodell will go to the 32 and then gets hauled all the way back to the other side of the 30-yard line. Mercy. That was a heck of a kick by Brendan Carney. 49 yards on the punt and a 12-yard return.
Well, that's the second high snap that Brendan Carney has had to field, and I'm telling you, I'm surprised by Kirk Ferentz and that coaching staff that they really hadn't come after him after the first one, having some problems. Watch this, nice right there, good job, athletic job of getting up, catching the football. But I tell you, the next one, I try to come and get it because of the high snap.
Ian Hammond doing the long snapping there. Will probably do a little on the sideline right now. Manson, split receivers. Hands off to the 35, 38-yard line. Damian Sims on the carry. Sims, a junior, getting some time in that running back position. They may want to go to a couple other guys now to try and spring Albert Young.
Yeah, he was pressed into action 2 years ago because all the injuries that we talked about at the running back position. But you see the last 3 drives for Iowa, and you get the big interception right in the middle. Punt, interception, and punt. And boy, it has been tough going for this Iowa offense.
Sims in the backfield again. Last year, 30 carries, 300 yards for him in the rushing game. Sims, number 28, looking to pass. This time Manson over the middle. That'll be completed. That'll be a first down, and the second effort is going to get it up into Syracuse territory. Scott Chandler again on the reception. His 4th catch.
Let me tell you something, Gary. Scott Chandler is going to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
With that speed and that big frame, and can get himself open. They're dropping. You see the zone drops. He finds it right there. And nice, sure hands. Ball thrown well in front of him, having the opportunity. He doesn't have to turn around, doesn't allow the defender a chance to get his hand in there. Nice, sure hands by that young man.
He's making the offense. He only had 12 receptions last year for 47 yards and 2 TDs. He's going to equal that in this game. Second man up in that 2-man running attack for a couple of yards again is Damian Sims. So Sims all of a sudden is the name working out of the backfield instead of Albert Young.
Well, we thought Albert Young and Sims, the running attack of Iowa, would just go downhill at this Syracuse defense. Well, guess what? They've got 7, 8 men in the box defensively for Syracuse, and sometimes you got to pick it up and throw the football in it, which will enable you and a chance to run it, and that's what Iowa's doing. They're going to Chandler on first downs, softening the defense up, and then coming back with Sims and Young.
Second down and 6, 45-yard line. Chris Thorner leaped off the field there for Syracuse. Looked like he may have hurt an ankle or leg, and there's the flag. They didn't get it off in time. Didn't need that right there. They were moving the football pretty well, had a 2nd and 6.
Offense number 54, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Mike Elgin has played a lot of football. Smart player, just looks like he caught. Jason Manson wanted to check, and Elgin was ready to fire off. Go get somebody.
Elgin was going to pull. The trouble is Raphael Eubanks, the center, wasn't going anywhere. right into his backside. Not funny for Iowa. There you see the penalties, 4th in the nation, 4.3 penalties per game. Not bad. Both these teams stay away from penalties.
Syracuse wanting to get to 3rd down. That's part of the plan.
Sims still in the backfield. He's got the football. Fires through to the 40. Oh, what a run right there. All the way up to the 35-yard line. Tanner Jackson moves in to put the hit on, but there is an explosive run for 15 yards.
Both he and Young are juniors. Thought about transferring at one time, decided to stay. And look at the tremendous push up front. And then it's all Damian Sims, who gives them a change of a little bit of a change in the running game. Nice, quick slasher. Boy, speed to burn. Speed kills, Gary.
3 carries, 24 yards. Last week, Sims 7 carries and 39 yards. Looking to pass again. Big rush, dumped it off as they had the screen set up. It's going to work to the 30 and gets pushed ahead over the 25 to the 24. Sims for an 11-yard gain on the pass reception.
Roy Manson does exactly what you need to do as a quarterback. Draw the defense to you at the last second, flip one over, and he completes it, getting some pressure there, the big defensive lineman, and then all of a sudden it's Damian Sims in the open field. I like this Damian Sims. They can get him loose. All of a sudden, he's got speed to really give this Syracuse defense some problems.
You get in a football game and you never know, do you?
No, never know who gets the hot hand.
You never know. Manson is 7 for 12, 88 yards in the air. Good numbers. They trail 7-0. Sims again on the carry. Does that little juke right there at the line of scrimmage and gets to the 19-yard line. Let's join Matt Weiner right now for a Sports Center in-game update.
All right, Gary, Miami of Ohio scored just 3 points in a loss to Northwestern last week, but they put up 31 to take Purdue to overtime. Corey Sheets ended it in the first OT with his 4th touchdown run of the game. Also from Indiana, Notre Dame, good test at home with Penn State in town. A couple of field goals had the Irish up 6-0 in the second quarter.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. Here it's Syracuse leading a 3-yard touchdown pass first quarter. Iowa threatening here. 2nd down and 8. Great fake. Looking into the end zone. Avoids a hit, and that'll be out of bounds at the 2. And again, they're finding the wide receivers. Andy Brodell that time, the sophomore, who's a speedster, and Tanner Jackson just got him before he hit the end zone.
Boy, he picked up a nice block right here by Brent Greenwood to allow him to get to the edge, Jason Manson, and then get the football out to Andy Brodell. What a good job of coming back and picking up a nice block.
And Majerus really going for the touchdown to tie it up. Not this time. 1st and goal at the 2. Sims runs into a Syracuse wall of orange. No gain on that one. And you can see how fired up they are.
Ryan Majerus peeling back, picking off a defensive lineman, and then all of a sudden you get an athletic quarterback like Jason Manson out on the edge. And what's happened in this football game, especially on this drive, is Manson's getting some confidence. He's hit Chandler a couple of times, completed some passes, on the move, made some plays with his legs, and now he's got him at point-blank range. 2nd down and goal again through the middle. Sims again. No, he kept it. Touchdown! Great fake, Scott Chandler. Go to the tower. He's caught him all day, and he gets that one on a tremendous fake up the middle, a 1-yard TD pass. Manson 4 for 4 on that drive
in the air.
Well, Scott Chandler right here blocking down. You see it here, and he's going to release to the middle part, the corner of the end zone right there. Nice, well-developed play on the part of Jason Manson and Scott Chandler.
Now they're going to try and get this thing tied up. Kyle Slicker's the kicker. It is up, and it is good. He gets the point after, and we're 7-7. And so a tremendous drive with Chandler getting his 5th reception. He's got a total of 59 yards, and on this one he gets a TD.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And Subway, Yummalicious sandwiches on freshly baked bread at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Good football game here, tied up. Syracuse at home, Carrier Dome, they had the lead. Iowa's come back 7-7. There are the numbers for the 2 quarterbacks. Manson in place of Tate today. Wow. And Patterson 7 for 11, 73.
I think Manson's knowledge of this Iowa offense is finally taking over, and he's an athletic guy. He just needed the reps and needed the work. He's in the football game, and all of a sudden, Gary, he looks extremely comfortable.
Real good. Syracuse will get the football back here. Jones and Brinkley are back deep. The kick's going to come towards the middle, handled by Brinkley to the 10, and will not get to that 20-yard line. Iowa's fired up after they scored, so Syracuse will take over first down and 10.
Well, take a look here. You're going to see Scott Chandler here in the pit. He blocks down, and you see right there, you get Jeremy Mackey, who's usually the weak side linebacker, not used to playing over the tight end. He takes a step up, and that's all you need. Get behind him and put the lob shot in the back of the end zone. Well executed play on the part of Iowa.
Chandler had a touchdown last week, and he's picked up another one in this game. You see the total yardage at 59 yards for their big receiver, who right now is a Syracuse major problem. They've got the youngster Carter again working in this backfield for Syracuse, trying to go off that left tackle spot. He'll get over the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Klingenborg in for about his 3rd tackle. And both of these teams are running people in and out. We're trying to keep account on Syracuse's offensive line. They have not had the same line in there for any more than 2 consecutive plays.
No, they're shuffling in, basically 4 tight ends, up to 7 offensive linemen. And I just tell you, it's hard to get in sync like that offensively. If you have the success on the first drive, why would you ever change?
I don't know, but that's what they're doing this year, is they shuffle people in and out. 2nd down and 6, and flag down, and another procedure call.
And that's what starts to happen when you go with all those personnel groupings.
Start, 98 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
You mentioned it, Gary. 48 players in the first half of last week's game, and you know, to their credit, that was the best half of football. They were tied at 10 apiece in the first half of last week's ball game. All of a sudden, all that shuffling in and personnel changes and things of that sort. Now all of a sudden you see the penalties start to show up in a couple of false starts that have really, really put this Syracuse offense behind the down and distance markers.
They lost to Wake Forest 20-10 in last week's game. 2nd and 11 now, and they'll run the fullback draw straight ahead. Carter will get to the 20 and then is shoved way back. And suddenly in this game, Carter's become a primary running back for Syracuse. Next week, a resurgent Nebraska team will be heading to LA in search of an upset against the number 3 USC Trojans. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. ABC, college football lives here. We're seeing names we didn't expect to see. It's one of the beauties of college football.
Yeah.
You get into some of these games, and some of the big stars, they've become so well known, they're so keyed on that they can't do anything, and you end up with others picking up the slack. DeLon Carter is now playing as a receiver. 3rd down and 6. Carter's to the near side. You can't see him. He's looking for him, though. They come back over the middle. That'll be caught, and that'll be a first down. Looks like that's going to be enough to get him about 1 yard beyond. That is Lake on the reception. They needed 6. They got 7. First down.
Hey, you're going to see Tim Lane get inside here from the receiver position and works inside. Nice little slant route coming underneath right there. Little angle route by the slot receiver, Tim Lane, which comes open a little late. You wait for everything to clear out. He works himself underneath right on time with the football is Perry Patterson.
Carter's in the backfield. 7-yard gain, 3 receptions now for Lane. That'll be carried. Nice little move, and he's still up. May have wishes he'd gone down sooner. We'll have to wait and see where Carter's marked as being stopped. And while they're doing that, let's check in with Todd Harris. Todd.
Well, an interesting story the other day. We spent some time with Coach Robinson in his office, and one of the stories he told us after he was introduced as a head coach, the first place he came was here to the Carrier Dome. As he was walking in, looking at the banners and thinking about all the history that took place here with guys like Jim Brown, Coach Jim Boeheim came in, head coach of the Syracuse basketball team, fresh off his national title back in 2003 where the banner hangs here. And he told him, Coach, and I quote, "This is a football school that just happens to have a pretty good basketball program." Coach Robinson said that meant a lot to him coming from Coach Boeheim to take the time to come down and make him feel that welcome.
Now they're trying to get it back. Patterson on the little screen up. Brinkley's got it. He'll go over the 35 and take a real shot. And Pascal gets up and looks at him. There's Jim Boeheim on the right, the basketball coach forever here at Syracuse. They play their basketball games, of course, here at the Carrier Dome, as we are here right now for football.
National championship a couple of years ago, and big football fan. Wants to see this football program get it turned around. You see there the 03 national championship. Carmelo Anthony.
That's some great programs.
Oh, yes, indeed.
They're right. The Syracuse football program, 13th all-time in wins forever in college football. 13th. I mean, that's a lot of W's. Syracuse trying to move the football here. Looking downfield, nowhere to go, and he's going to get sacked at the line of scrimmage. Tried to make the move, and getting back into play, and you can see why they need him so much. Iwebama did not play last week. He was suspended for a violation of team rules. He missed a week of practice. He had to sit in the stands and watch the Iowa game last week. Reinstated this week. He may be their best rusher.
All right, they got him matched up. Kenny Iwebama matched up against Corey Chavers, and he beat him outside, came back underneath, and got to Perry Patterson, and that's going to stop this drive for Syracuse and force them into a punting situation.
Iowa wants field position. They're going to take a timeout. They want to stop the clock with 1:14 left to go to give themselves a chance at getting the football in good field position. Take a look at our Aflac trivia question. See whether or not you can come up with the answer. When was the last time either of these teams finished the season undefeated? We'll tell you in a minute. All right, take a look at our Aflac trivia question and answer here. Last time either of these schools had an undefeated season? Answer is Syracuse, 87, 11-0-1. Iowa in 1922. They went 7-0.
Only 7 games in 1922 were played.
Got to be a punting situation here as Brendan Carney, who can kick the football, is out there to do it. He was 24th in the nation last year in punts, averaging 42.6. Drives that one. Bradell is back there and will take it at the 27-yard line and get decent field position here up to about the 37. And it's getting hot out there. 42-yard kick and a 10-yard return.
Yeah, Iowa 1 timeout, plenty of time, 1:04 left in this half to put together a nice little drive here. You go to your 2-minute offense and try to get some points. You know, if you just get 3, you've accomplished a lot.
Keep in mind, under the new rules, when the ball is set, the clock begins. It begins right now. So Iowa immediately came to the line of scrimmage. They will work out of the shotgun here. Masson, a handoff 40. He's going to carry it all the way up to first down territory. More important, perhaps, than the first down is it stops the clock as Derek Bailey put the hit on.
Yeah, it's going to stop the clock until the change is set, and Iowa getting a play called. Very well coached football team. Come out of that punt, get to the line of scrimmage, snap the football, and here got a play called and ready to go.
Manson carried that one for 12. Manson back to pass, and that will be held onto a completed pass.
Guess who?
You got to look to Scott Chandler every time. Chestnut moved in to put the hit on.
Well, Scott Chandler from a good football family. His brother was former Iowa quarterback Nathan Chandler. Had a lot of success here. And boy, he is having one heck of a first half.
Iowa's out of timeouts as they use it right there. The 6th catch that Chandler has had, and he's got 67 yards. Coach Dick McPherson and Don McPherson were on the sideline. 1987, West Virginia against Syracuse. 15 seconds were left on the clock. Don McPherson, 17-yard pass. You got to figure this is the game, right? 30-31, West Virginia. Don McPherson, options. Michael Owens, 2-point conversion. Ooh, yeah. 32-31 Syracuse. 3 seconds left. Major Harris, Hail Mary, intercepted. And that's the football game. Syracuse 32. West Virginia 31. It completed an undefeated season at 12-0, would lose in the Sun Bowl. And there is Old Town, Maine, 17 Bradbury Street. Dick McPherson, former head coach here and with the Patriots, now working as a broadcaster. We are both from the same town in Maine and from the same street.
And he dropped by to say hello to you before the game.
Great friends.
Yes, indeed.
There is Dick. We always say to one another, what are the chances Dick McPherson and I would be doing a college football game in the same city, same booth? We both grew up in Old Town on Bradbury Street.
Right next to one another.
Right next to one another. Their family lived across the street. All right, we've got just 40 seconds left to go here in the first half. Second down and 4. Trying to get into field goal range, if not the TD. They're going deep over the middle. It'll be incomplete. And it had to be Scott Chandler.
All right, he was wishing he had this one back. Had plenty of time, and Scott Chandler had worked himself open across the middle of the formation. Just a little bit overthrown on the part of Jason Manson. Boy, Scott Chandler, they are working him over. We talked about it in the Star Watch at the beginning of the game. He would have a big afternoon, and he has not disappointed.
He had completed 5 in a row prior to that one. By the way, for Schleckler, the kicker, his longest is 52 yards. So they want to get it there if they can. They want a TD more than that. Looking downfield. That's going to be thrown and intercepted by Syracuse. Intercepted. A.J. Brown, a free safety, hauls it in. That will end the Iowa drive.
And you know what? You got 27 seconds and a timeout of your own. How about let's go down and get some points? I'm a firm believer. If there's time on the clock, go get some yourself. But right here, Jason Manson getting a little greedy, trying to force one in there. You just want to throw this one away and go into halftime. Nobody's open. Don't make a mistake, because you pay for it right here. The interception, and all of a sudden you're giving chase. And Syracuse may have ideas of their own with one timeout.
Now Syracuse was not ready. The clock has already started. They've lost almost 10 seconds off this clock because they were still on the sideline. And under that new rule, once the ball's set, it's ready to go. So Patterson at quarterback here, only going to get one play in. So let her go. Takes the rush, hit from behind, fumbles the football, and it won't matter because that's it. That's going to end the first half, and Syracuse can't be disappointed, as against Iowa, they have a 7-7 game going to the second half. Let's get on to Todd Harris. Todd.
All right, thanks, Gary. Coach, your senior is forced into action here. What's your assessment of his performance in the first half?
I think he's doing a good job. They're trying to make us throw it a little bit and doing a good job there. But I thought Jason's played pretty well for the most part. Pretty good decisions.
You're in a 7-7 tie. What do you tell your team?
Well, you know, we thought it was going to be a tough game coming up, despite what a lot of people on the outside thought. And that's what we're looking at right now. Obviously, we've got to try to eliminate some of our mistakes that have hurt us a little bit. Syracuse is playing extremely hard. Yeah, we expected that. Now we got to take care of our business a little bit better.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, there is Andrew Ferentz, coach at Iowa, 7-7. Coming up next, John, Craig, and Doug will be along. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. We are back in an interesting football game here in Syracuse. Number 14, Iowa, heavily favored, 3 touchdowns. They don't have their starting quarterback. Syracuse has played well and got it 7-7. With Andre Ware, I'm Gary Thorne, 2 QBs who have gotten it done, and some surprises from some rushers.
Yeah, Jason Manson, I thought they would scale the playbook back for him. They really opened it up, and he's found Scott Chandler, who's been the hero of the first half. And then on the other side, Barry Patterson played a fabulous game in the first quarter. Kind of scaled back a little bit. They've had a lot of punts there after that first successful drive, but look for Syracuse to really reassert themselves in this half.
Syracuse got it on that first drive. After that, it's been punt situations as we start the second half. Game tied at 7-7. Iowa will be kicking off. Syracuse had won the opening toss and elected to take it here in the second. And there's the boot to get us underway here in the second half. That's going to sail into the end zone, and Syracuse is going to take that out on the 20 and start from there. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary first half.
Hey, you look at it here, and time of possession favors Syracuse, and the 2 turnovers for Iowa. I mean, really playing a big story in this first half. Just basically, the end of the half, Jason Manson trying to force the ball, trying to get points at the end of the half, which resulted in the other interception. Syracuse played some inspired football for a team that has lost 10 in a row.
Barry Patterson, 9 for 13, a touchdown and 86 yards. He's at quarterback. Chris Brinkley, their leading runner in the backfield. He had 5 carries for 29 yards. He will start it out here. A lot of room off right tackle as he spins up to about the 27. Brinkley on the carry. We'll check in with Todd Harris.
Well, Gary, I don't know what to tell you. I'm all hyped up again. I spent a few moments with Coach Robinson. He has that effect on you. You drink the Kool-Aid, like Andre said. He said it's all about sustaining. He said, I've liked what our offense is doing, but we need to sustain those long drives. And he said on the defensive side, he says if we can get him into more 3 and outs, he says, I like our chances. And the most important thing, he says, my boys are competing, and that's all I can ask.
They are doing that. Again, the handoff Brinkley will carry, and this time nowhere to go. May get back to the line of scrimmage on the second down and short yardage. This Iowa defense may come to the 4. That may be the difference here in the second half, Andre, because they're good.
They can get tremendous pressure from just the front 4 guys, and they rotate up to 6 defensive linemen in and out of the football game. And there you see Kenny Webema stopping the run there. That's what's going to happen for Iowa. Force Syracuse to go back to the air.
Third down and 12. So another big third down and 2 rather. Looking to pass on the slant. They've got it, and they got the first down. That'll be taken at the 36-yard line. Taj Smith caught the touchdown pass in that first half of a short yardage play, and it was his first reception career-wise.
Well, it was good timing here. Just a nice slant route, but I like the body position on Taj Smith more than anything. Right here, putting his body between the ball and the defender, Charles Godfrey, which allows for the catch and the first down.
So they're keeping that ball in the air, and Barry Patterson, their senior quarterback, who had no success passing last year or opening last week, is having success here. They fake to come around, go straight up the middle, and there was a big hole for Curtis Brinkley. Right at the middle of that line that time. Boy, did they open a truck hole.
Boy, Curtis Brinkley trying to feeling it right now early in this second half. But talking to Brian White, the offensive coordinator for Syracuse, they wanted to stay ahead of the change, stay in second down and medium, third down and short, and they opened the second half in that situation 2 consecutive times. Second down and short. It opens up the entire playbook. You're here in this situation. I like to take a shot. It's second down short. You always have third down right around midfield.
Instead, they hand off, try and go straight ahead, and I don't think they're going to get it. Real good push by the defense. Stephen McDonald, who has not carried in the game, first chance there. For Syracuse, the longest losing streak in their 117-year football history. If they could end it today, what an enormous win it would be. First win over a Big Ten team since '98. Second win as a head coach. That's how big this game is for Syracuse.
Yeah, and you know what? They're right now. It's according to the recipe for Syracuse. Stay in situations like this.
They're going to try and sneak it up, and right over center. I think there was a drop of the ball there, and they did not get the first down, even if they retained possession, which it looks like they did. That's the second time they've had problems on the snap. They tried to go straight ahead over center that time.
This is going to call for a measurement, but I think Barry Patterson lost this football somewhere, and one of those big grunts down in the middle of the pack in there came away with it, and they got away with one right there.
Now you had a 2nd and 1 situation.
Take a shot. I mean, you know, you're 2nd down, you know, 3rd, you can line up and go right at the defense, maybe have someone go over the top, or quarterback sneak it like they did, just secure the football. But I like to take a shot on 2nd down and 1, right around midfield especially. What a big break for Syracuse. Yeah, big break.
They will get the 1st down on the sneak. Just get it. But
don't call me conservative.
I won't. I won't call you conservative.
I'd throw it on 4th and an inch if you give me a shot at it.
Greg Robinson is breathing again over on the sideline, the head coach for Syracuse. So they get the 1st and 10 and keep possession of the football. Syracuse rather rushed for 53 in the 1st half and passed for 86, the net yardage they had in those 2 departments. They have 2 to the right side. Mike Williams is number 1 out there. Williams caught a ball. They got somebody open, and it's caught, and it's Williams, and it's incomplete. Out of bounds is the call. Mike Williams showed up out of nowhere in the 1st half. Adam Shatta drove him out of bounds. Williams had his first collegiate reception in the 1st half.
Boy, there, just a nice job by the defender, just pushing Mike Williams out of bounds. But I thought he missed Curtis Brinkley out of the backfield. You're going to see him leak out right there. And he's wide open. I mean, a lot of real estate in front of Curtis Brinkley. Go through your reads. Do not force the football. Manage the ball and move it down the field. And that was his first read, Curtis Brinkley.
And Patterson's got a 2nd down and 10 here for Syracuse. Quick step back over the middle. That's going to be completed. Ouch. Man, can that kid hit? It's not going to be a 1st down. Tim Lane took it. It's about the 3rd time Marcus Pascal has warned people, if you come here, you're going to get nailed.
He hit him so hard, I think he hurt himself. He's grabbing his hand there, but a 3-year starter who saw action as a true freshman. He's got great football instincts, and you see him show up in your screen right here. This is big-time hitting right here. When a guy goes backwards, Gary, he's been hit.
Dalton had to come in for him. For Pascal, it's his 25th consecutive start, and he's out of the football game with that bad hand. It is another big 3rd down play. 3rd down and 1. Can they get the 1st down running it? Line of scrimmage? No, they did not. It'll depend on the spot. Curtis Brinkley. But going up that middle against this Iowa big front 4, including Mitch King, the sophomore who made that tackle, is not easy business.
Oh, he's going to be short here, and maybe you start thinking about going for it. You got a little momentum. Perry Patterson's a big quarterback. 6'4", going about 235, maybe wishing he had a little bit of that extra weight in a situation like this so he can quarterback sneak it. But boy, I like this call. Across midfield, you got momentum, you're trying to win a football game, you go for it in situations like this.
How about Robinson, the head coach at Syracuse, turned around to the fans and said, get up, get up. He wants to hear the noise.
Not when the offense is on the field.
Holy moly, and there's a push, and it may be against Syracuse.
Yeah, it looks like number 80, J.J. Neshowitz.
Number 80 in the offense.
That'll make the decision for you.
I think that's their 3rd, Andre, possession procedure call, rather, against them. So that'll take care of the attempt to get a 4th down, 1st down.
Well, yeah, Iowa's defensive line just shifted enough, and he raised up or flinched just enough to get the flag thrown on him.
All right, Brendan Carney had 3 punts in the 1st half, averaged 45 yards. His longest was 49. He will be standing back at about the 40 when he puts his foot into it. Brodell is back. Andy Brodell for Iowa, standing back at his own 15. They're going to try and fake it. He wanted to pass, and there's a big no play. A big play defensively for Iowa. They're going to get the football at the Syracuse 40. A loss of 10 and great field possession.
I don't understand that one. You're 7 apiece. Your defense is playing well, and you're at midfield, and you're going to run a trick play. And now Iowa's going to have excellent field position. I really don't understand that. Just punt the football and play defense.
Wow, is that ever? That's the potential of being a very costly decision, because now Iowa's got tremendous field possession here. 1st down and 10 at the Syracuse 40-yard line. Manson looking for the TD on the first play, goes deep end zone. It is intercepted by Terrell Lemon.
Wow.
One turnover for another. The 3rd interception Syracuse has in the game.
tried to go up top to Calvin Davis, who was clearly behind Terrell Lemon. A nice post route in the middle of the field. Got behind him here. If the ball's thrown in front, it's 6. It's thrown underneath, and Terrell Lemon right there with a huge play for his football team. Right there, go up and get the football. Save the day on a bad play call on 4th down.
That's just what he did. The first career interception that Lemon has had. It'll be a 1st down and 10. Ball brought out to the 20-yard line. Pascal is back in the football game now. Iowa on defense. That'll be caught at the 30. Couldn't get away for a second time. Does will lose yardage. Goes back to the 25. Taj Smith, the junior. He is 2nd on the wide receiver depth chart, but right now he's playing more than Moss ahead of him.
They have gotten Iowa into situations defensively that they want them in. They've completed that slant route about 4 times to Taj Smith. Look for him to go slant and go. All of a sudden you get a young corner or a guy without a lot of experience. Charles Godfrey over there biting inside, giving the old pump and up the sideline, and all of a sudden it's 6 points and you're chasing from behind.
2nd down and 5. They slotted off to the right side. There's Brinkley. The tailback heads out. Big rush on. They read it. It'll be caught right at the 30, though, and a good hit. It'll be close to a 1st down. Looks like they're going to be shy. Tim Lane coming in, the wide receiver from the right side. And it will be enough. 1st down.
Well, it looks like they can just turn this football game over to Perry Patterson. He is in a rhythm right now. You can see it in his body language, spreading the football around to a lot of different receivers. Taj Smith, the play before, and then coming back to Tim Lane across the middle. I mean, just moving the football around, and that's how you keep a defense off balance. Not keying on one guy, but moving it to a lot of different people within the offense.
Perry Patterson is having maybe the best career day at quarterback that he's had. Boy, he's getting it done. He drops again. The left-hander looking. Southpaw comes near side. Nobody's over here. He's got to run it. Give me a block, guys. Give me a block. And he'll get it over the line of scrimmage or just about to it. Patterson, there was great coverage with everybody downfield. A surprising football game, the biggest surprise before it even started. Iowa's starting quarterback not playing as Drew Tate out of this game, an abdominal problem. So number 14 Iowa's having its problems. Along with Andre Ware, Todd Harris on our crew, I'm Gary Thorne here at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. This Big Orange team's lost 10 in a row, the longest losing streak in the 117-year history of football here. They're trying to get out of it with an upset today. And Patterson has been strong at quarterback. Come here with a 2nd down and 9. He did get a yard. 3-step drop over the middle. It's caught. Another big hit. Man, if you're going to hang on to those, you know what's coming.
Well, they talked about matching toughness with toughness. They know a Big Ten team coming in here is going to be a tough, hard-nosed football team. As a receiver, you got to know matchup zone. I'm running across there. I'm going to catch slants. I'm going to pay the price. But guess what? They're hanging on to the football and moving the chains. This Syracuse offense. Check out this hit. Boy, 2 safeties. Pascal and Merrick laying the lumber in the middle of the field.
And this is what Syracuse has not done both last year and this year. And that's catch the ball. Time's running down. 2 seconds. They get it off. Looking for another slant. Incomplete. There's a hit. No flag. Looking for an interference call. Taj Smith came across the middle, but Charles Godfrey got there exactly with the right timing.
Well, I'll tell you what, right here, you've run this slant a bunch and you run it. Now all of a sudden you look, and Charles Godfrey, he's been beaten on the slant so many times, he's playing inside position. So it's almost impossible for Taj Smith to get inside and catch that football. That's when you got him set up for the slant and go.
Another punt, and Brendan Carney becomes very important in this football game. 4 of them. Carney gets a good snap, kicks this one high and deep. Fair catch called for, and that's where it will be taken at the 27-yard line. Andy Brodell, he had no chance to run that one back. 35-yard punt. Iowa's got the football. Who was your hero when you were growing up? Well, Jerry Mack is going to answer that when we come back.
Tuesday.
I'm Matt Weiner in New York with this SportsCenter in-game update. Boston College down 7 to Clemson at halftime, but not for long. The freshman Jeff Smith takes the kickoff 96 yards. Former Pennsylvania high school sprint champion will not be caught. BC back tied at 17. Likewise at Oklahoma, it was tied at 13. Paul Thompson's second touchdown pass to Malcolm Kelly has changed that. The Sooners now lead at 20-13 in the third quarter. Gary?
All right, Jerry Mackey, linebacker, Syracuse. When you were growing up, who did you pretend to be?
Growing up in high school, I emulated Ray Lewis because he's a great leader. He went through some adversity and bounced back from that, and he's a great all-around player, and that's what I aspire to be like. And I know in my own personal life, I've been through some things, and I had a surgery I had to deal with, and a coaching change, and a lot of adversity, and I just kept on working hard, and now I'm a better person because of that. So he's definitely the person that I admire.
And you saw right there Mackey's first career interception that ended Iowa's second drive, and there he is on the field trying to get the fans into it. Iowa takes over the football. 7-7 ball game, 6:36 to go, third quarter. Albert Young is in there. Albert Young of Iowa, number 21, a great rusher who's right now trying to get the 20 yards in the game. And he just has not carried the football since he got shut down early on. They'll try him again. He finds room, and he's going to be up to the 40. Breaks away and up to the 48-yard line. That's Albert Young. A 21-yard gain before Joe Fields brings him down.
Yeah, and the formation called for Syracuse takes the 8th guy out of the box. They only have 7 in the box. You see him here. And now the cutback lane back out the backside. And Albert Young, fresh legs. He's been on that sideline for quite some time, giving way to Damian Sims. Boy, he is raring to go here in the second half.
He had 8 yards before that run. He may have been benched over there, given some time to think about it. I mean, he's a tremendous runner who last year gained 1,376 yards. That pass is intercepted. Syracuse has their 4th interception of the game. Terrell Lemon is second.
Well, it looked like a big mix-up between Herb Grisby, the inside receiver on that play, and Jason Manson. And all of a sudden, boy, I'll tell you what, they're playing some inspired football right here. You see him, he looks confused right there. Herb Grisby didn't really know where to line up. Supposed to run a slant route or an out route, it looked like, as the ball was thrown behind him. And he hooks up inside. Manson throws outside. The result, an interception. Terrell Lemon, second interception in this football game.
That's the way Iowa's ending their 3 last drives, with Syracuse coming away with the football. Chiara's in the backfield now. Syracuse with good field position at the 44-yard line. They want to go to the air. Patterson wants to go deep, going for the long one. Incomplete at the 30-yard line. Rice Moss, the intended.
Now, I don't understand this. You've been running slant routes all day long, and you run an out and up. You know, if you're going to fool the kid, go back to the slant and then go slant and go, as opposed to, you hadn't thrown an out route all afternoon. Who's that going to fool? Did it fool you?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Man, I mean, just give him an inside move, get back outside, and you got what you want. You're not going to fool Godfrey going out and up. I mean, it's inside where they've made their living.
It's the easiest adjustment for that defensive backfield to make. Just stay with the receiver going deep. That'll be carried straight ahead. Chiara on the carry. The sophomore working out a tailback will get a couple of yards on that. This Iowa defense, toughest against the rush as they were last year. You see a flag down.
That's in that area of holding, and that's exactly what it's going to get now. Syracuse playing behind the chains once again on this drive.
Greg Robinson has pounded it into this team. Do not get penalized. You know, we're not strong enough.
Offense number 78, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Well, you see it just at the top of the screen, and just enough of the jersey right in here to get a call.
Had him sandwiched and had his pads in his hands.
Grabbed a handful of jersey.
Yeah. You got a second down at 20. Patterson, a big passing down. Nickel defense out there for Iowa. They bring in 3 of their big, speedy defensive backs. Looking to the near side, faked it. They go over the middle. That'll be caught, but it won't matter. It's going to go nowhere, and probably even for a loss, depending on where they spot it.
Now, we joked with offensive coordinator Brian White yesterday and said, you know, what if you find yourself in 3rd down and long sometimes? He said, well, you know, there isn't a whole lot that converts 3rd down and 20. And when you have holding penalties and you put yourself in positions like this, now you just want to take care of the football, advance it, maybe not trying to get the first down, but get some positive yardage and put yourself in a position to pin this Iowa offense down deep.
First season brought in to try and rejuvenate the Syracuse offense. Now they've got a big third down, 20 to go here. Deep drop. Don't want the interception. Instead, no! He threw that ball away. It may be a fumble. It is, and it's recovered by Iowa. A very bad decision. Perry Patterson was already caught and just kind of dumped it.
And they may look at this. Every play is reviewed. Keep that in mind. And it looked like Perry Patterson was trying to dump this football off in the pocket. And that's where this is where you got to take care of the football right here. You get caught, you're making a mistake by trying to do too much. Put the football away, take the sack, punt, and play defense. He's trying to throw the football, but I'm not sure they're going to rule this a pass. Right here, just trying to get it out of there.
Hit his own guy in the helmet.
Yep.
Mitch King. They're going to review this. There are all kind of things that you might call here, like an ineligible receiver.
Everything. Who's he trying to throw to? 78?
Yeah.
Eugene Newsom is the guy that gets hit in the helmet with it.
He definitely did come forward.
He was trying
with
to
his
come
arm,
forward
Andre.
with a football. I agree with you totally, Gary.
He was totally locked up. He may have thought when he went to the official, it looked like he was trying to say, look, my progress had been stopped. We should have had a whistle, but there wasn't one.
Take a look here. He's going to step up in the pocket. He realizes that I'm about to get wrapped up. Keep the football, put the other hand on it, take the sack, punt, and play defense. And you don't wind up in a situation like this. Now you bring it into question with the officials.
Brian Mattson, 99, put the original heat, and Mitch King was the one who put the stopper on.
Sometimes, the best play is to take the sack, eat it, and let the defense, who's played some inspired football early in this second half, turn it over to them.
This is an interesting discussion. Again, we note that any turnover from upstairs has to be an absolute certainty that the call on the field is wrong. The call on the field was fumble.
That ball's coming forward. I mean, he's trying to pass
After
just to
review,
who?
there's indisputable video evidence that the quarterback had possession of the ball when his arm went forward. Therefore, it is an incomplete forward pass.
Yes, good call.
It'll be fourth down on the Syracuse 34-yard line.
And it was indisputable.
It's a good call.
So that will the big break here is Syracuse is going to give the football up, but it's where Iowa is going to start their offense. It's going to be the big difference here. Now Syracuse will get a chance to punt the football, and Brendan Carney is having one busy day. The only punter to be a captain since Rich King was that back in '64.
Syracuse has certainly had some gifts, and they have gotten away with some other things in this football game that were very questionable. And I'll tell you, to be tied up 7, I would expect Syracuse, after all the turnovers and the gimmies that they've gotten, you'd expect them to be leading this football game. It is I tell you, a wonder that Iowa was tied up in this game.
They had to move the football up because it had been spotted where the fumble was recovered, but it's got to be back at the line of scrimmage on that last play. So that brings up the 4th down and 20+ yards for a first down. Andy Brodell is back to get it. They're waiting to get the chains set here as Brendan Carney stands back. Carney can make such a difference for your team. He is such an outstanding punter. His longest of his season last year was 71 yards, averaged 42, 24th in the NCAA's 117 schools in Division I. He was 24th as a punter in the nation. And 43.4, you see the average in his career. He's had 4 today and averaging almost just under 43 yards a kick.
Well, he needs to nail one right here.
Well, Iowa will not get the fumble, but will get a shot at the football on the punt. It looks like they're going to try and block this. Coming hard from the outside. Gets the snap, gets hit. Flag's going to go down. Syracuse is going to get it back. He kicked that all the way to the 5-yard line on the fly, and it bounces into the end zone. He got hit, and he took the good fall, as any punter will. A 66-yard kick, but it's going to come back on the punter interference.
Yeah, he and Terry Strauss, backup wide receiver, kind of got in there and mixing it up. And well, I tell you, that takes a little courage to leave your leg up there knowing that you're about to take a lick.
Getting into the kicker by the defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Marcus Wilson got it. It will be a 4th down. It's going to be replayed.
It's running into the kicker as opposed to roughing the kicker, and that's a good call. It's a 5-yard penalty. They're going to get to do it all over again.
Look at this.
Look at this.
You want to rough the kicker? What is that?
Boy, a little wrestling match going on.
What was that? It wasn't the initial hit. It was the second one that could have been roughing the kicker.
Got him pinned down.
Yeah.
To take advantage of this punter.
So the 5-yard penalty is not enough for a 1st down. That's why we're going to have a 4th down and 15. Another punting situation. You can bet that Greg Robinson was talking to the officials about, did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah, he's still going at it with the officials, and it's actually running in and not roughing. I mean, he was trying to avoid him. Was Charles Godfrey.
Players are trying to figure out who's supposed to be out on the field. I think they're going to, because of the long punt, they're going to deny the penalty and take the 66-yard punt.
66 yards on the carry.
Why not? When you get a 66-yard punt, it did end up in the end zone, but it'll be at the 20, so that's pretty darn good swap from what it could have been.
Not bad at all, and you got a defense that's playing some excellent inspired football here in the second half. I tell you now, all of a sudden, Jason Manson, you throw a couple of interceptions, and you get a little unsure. That confidence level's gone down, way down. Rely on the running game.
Albert Young in the backfield. He's looking again. He's had 4 intercepted against him. He's going to have to carry. Manson will be hit there and driven out of bounds after about a 6-yard gain. Pretty good carry by Manson, though.
I'll tell you, they're not scaling anything back for Jason Manson. Even though he's thrown the interceptions and made some mistakes in this football game, they are still, the entire playbook is still open to Jason Manson.
And you'll love this, Andre, as a former quarterback Heisman Trophy winner. This game's getting a little juicy out there. A lot of talk going on. Smack. I mean, they're into it.
And you know what? It's tied up, and you have an opportunity to make a play from being the guy under the center. Boy, all you need is one big play, and it swings the entire game in your favor.
2nd down and 3. 7-yard gain on that carry. Manson will hand off. King cuts back into the middle. Look at that. That's what he's all about. It'll be a 1st down up to the 36 as Young, Albert Young.
Yeah, you see here Jason Manson, the interceptions right here across the middle. That one is kind of on the tight end. This one, right, throwing into traffic, trying to make a play. And then this is just a good football play by a good defensive back, Terrell Lemon. And then there, receiver kind of gives him the okey doke, and he throws another one right at Lemon again, hand delivers it to him. But boy, tough afternoon. You just got to fight through it.
Iowa now gets the 1st down, back into the pocket. Good protection again, and that's incomplete. A comebacker. Herb Grigsby couldn't get back far enough to haul that one in, incomplete.
They're thrown a little bit behind him. All of a sudden, they're getting a little push up front, and the feet are getting happy for Jason Manson. I think you just got to settle down, get him a completion or two, maybe let him throw a hitch out there, the screen pass, get him settled back into this football game. Because when you throw passes like that, sometimes you tend to press from that position. I've been there when you're having a bad day. All it takes is something good to happen, and you're right back where you need to be.
A 2nd down and 10. Iowa at their own 35-yard line. Receivers are all to that wide left side. He rolls there, throws short at the 40. Not a 1st down, driven out of bounds. That is Calvin Davis, who didn't have a reception in the 1st half. He's had a couple here, and Jackson drives him out.
And that's a good play call. They got it called against the blitz. A lot of guys in there in the creases. Safety's coming up trying to blitz. They get him out on the edge, and a nice little gimme throw for Jason Manson to get him back involved in this football game.
Another big 3rd down conversion. Syracuse fans up. It is a 3rd down and 4 for Iowa. See if they'll put it up. Scott Chandler, that big tight end's the one they've gone to. They are 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, and the carrier's rocking. Quick look in. Over the middle. Caught! There is nobody there! 30, 25, and hauled down from behind at the 15. Herb Grigsby. Grigsby with Joe Fields making a touchdown-saving tackle.
Boy, they blitz, and Kelvin Smith, the middle linebacker, comes from the middle. They get it called, the slant route from inside, and on the 3rd step, 1, 2, 3, it's gone. If you hold it a little bit longer, you're going to take the sack, and right there, well-thrown football, and now it's off to the races. Joe Fields, the ex-quarterback, runs him down and saves the touchdown.
44 yards on that reception for Iowa. An enormous play. as they convert on third down big time. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. It is a first down and 10 for the Hawkeyes in a 7-7 game. Again, the quick look. That'll be caught, and down he goes. This time Grigsby's got nowhere to run. Grigsby caught it and hope be able to take off. He's got some great speed. He'll be taken at the 10-yard line by Jackson.
And we just talked about all it takes is something good to happen for you as a quarterback. And right there, Herb Grigsby delivers, known for his speed and his good route running. And Jason Manson delivering the football. And now Iowa knocking on the door.
Iowa's not led in this football game. They fell behind and then had to come back to get it tied up. Now they got a chance to get a lead here. A second down, audible probably being called here.
He's got one-on-one coverage right here at the top.
Hands it off. It's Young, and he gets away. And a second effort that'll take him down to the 6-yard line. Albert Young.
Well, he checked to a hitch route, which the defensive back was off the play before. Then he gets Kelvin Davis, the 6'1" wide receiver, matched up one-on-one on the outside. Here, though, third down and short. Run the football, go back to your big horse, Albert Young.
Champ Davis, the fullback, just limped off for Iowa. A third down and 2. Ball at the 6-yard line of Syracuse. They send the man in motion. The big receiver, Chandler, looking to the right corner for the touchdown to Chandler. It is incomplete. He took a little shove, but the pass was away. Luke Kane on the coverage.
A real surprise there that, Albert Young has run the football very well for this Iowa Hawkeye football team here in the second half early, and to go away from him. They're trying to go to Chandler, who they had the success with early in the first half, or throughout the first half. Man, I think you saddle up Albert Young and you ride him for a first down.
Schlicker's going to come on to do the kicking, the senior. Last year, 17 out of 21 for field goals. This will be a 24-yarder. Fenstermaker is the holder. This is for the lead in this game. It is down, it is up, and it is good. So Kyle Schlicker puts one through, and with 22 left to go here in the third, Iowa takes their first lead 10-7. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by the totally new Jeep Compass. Freedom in a whole new dimension. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
You saw the room that has all of the great trophies here at Syracuse. Jim Brown, one of the all-time great players we noted earlier. Boy, this is a game worthy of the days here at Syracuse. That's 44 hanging forever. Now Syracuse is going to get the football back. 44-yard pass to Grigsby. Set up that field goal to give Iowa the 10-7 lead. Now we'll see whether or not good field position can be gained here on the kickoff. It's going to be taken at the 3-yard line. Kareem Jones, the 20. And about the 22-yard line, where Syracuse will take over first down and 10. 13 seconds left to go, third quarter, with Iowa leading it by 3. And we are back with 13 seconds left to go in the third. Iowa, the number 14 ranked team in the nation, has got the lead, but it has not been easy. Manson, QB, Iowa, 4 interceptions, a TD. Patterson has had the 1 TD thrown. Syracuse scored a touchdown on their first possession. Since then, 5 punts, an aborted fourth down attempt included. Now they got the football back, and they got to find their offense again. Patterson, that ball's set to be played, and they didn't get a play off with the clock running out to end the quarter. So we go to the fourth. Can Syracuse get this upset? Iowa's got the lead again. Our presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The These two teams have met only twice before, 75-76, each won a game at home. Now Iowa's got the lead going to the fourth quarter. Syracuse, though, has got the football. Carter is in there, number 3. The young man who they have great hopes for the future is getting some playing time today. It looks like the first option that we've seen, and that's Carter. Up to about the 22-yard line. Merrick on the hit. We haven't seen that play before. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Look here, the time of possession has just been dominated by Syracuse. The turnovers right there, the sore thumb for Iowa, and they've been able to overcome it. Syracuse not being able to take advantage of 4 interceptions in this football game. And it tells on the scoreboard where they trail 10-7.
It is going to be a second down. Probably going to have to pass it. Patterson looking near side and out to the sideline will be caught. Good hard tackle made. 26-yard line on Taj Smith, the junior, and not going to be nearly enough for the first down. A very short gain. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental Report featuring scores and highlights with John, Craig, and Doug coming up back in New York. Well, didn't take long to get to a big third down play.
No, and this is where they were trying to avoid was third down and 6 or more. They wanted to, this is third and medium. Not a bad spot to be in, but you'd like to be in third and short in a situation like this.
Coming into the tailback, Paul Chiara. Looking over the middle, incomplete. Boy, the defensive backfield of Iowa is just looking to nail guys who are coming across. Chiara that time the intended receiver, incomplete, and that's going to be a 3 and out for Syracuse.
Yeah, they just try to get Paul Chiara on a little angle route, and Perry Patterson put a little too much zip on this. You just want to throw a catchable football, and he zipped it in there a little too much. Chiara wasn't ready for it. Now Syracuse going to give up some good field position to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Brandon Carney punting again. He punted 8 times last week. That one's going to be a bouncer. He will get the roll, picked up by Brodell, and he'll be tackled at the 35-yard line. Little shoestring tackle after a 43-yard punt, a 5-yard return. Iowa gets it back. Jeremy Sellers made the hit, and now Iowa's on the offense. Look at our ESPNU All-State Standings review and note the teams that have already won the 2 All-Marks: Auburn, West Virginia, Michigan.
West Virginia rolled, and that's my choice to reach the national championship game this year.
Ohio State, Texas 1 and 2 played tonight. All right, Iowa's got the football in the lead. 13:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. They want to hang on to this football now. They've got Sims back in the backfield. Patterson gets a big rush. Going to get rid of it down the sideline. And that'll be out of bounds. Wow. Jason Manson had to get rid of that in a hurry.
He shows his ability to escape because there's really nothing there. Show the pump fake, and they want to go up top. And a good job of defense, defending in the secondary by Syracuse. And just get rid of the football. Don't take a sack. Don't put your team in a bad situation. He's tried to force 1 or 2 already, and it's cost his team interceptions. So just manage the football game.
You see the time of possession has gone to Syracuse. They've had 4 interceptions. How in heck can they trail in this game?
But they are.
They are. Jason Manson, the quarterback. Tate, the regular starter, out of there. Abdominal problem. Couldn't go today. Big hit put on over the 35, 36-yard line. Sims, he's become their carrier. Calvin Smith, the linebacker, on the tackle. An interesting turn of events today. Albert Young, their great running back, gained over 1,300 yards last year.
Only 8 carries in this football game. Sims at that one, before that carry, had 5 carries, was averaging 5.8 yards a carry. So he's had some success before. I'm surprised. Albert Young's in the football game now, though, Gary.
Gotta wonder if something's wrong with the young man. But he is back in there now on a 3rd down. And 6 passing, looking. Manson's going to carry, and he's got the first down. Helps his own cause up to the 48-yard line on the carry. Luke Kane got him a 12-yard gain.
Well, you're going to see Syracuse give a blitz look, and they basically, all the linebackers in here freeze it, and then all of a sudden they show it and get back right here, dropping back into zone coverage. Everything opens up, and now there's running lane and a lot of green grass. Excuse me, green turf.
Thank you.
For Jason Manson.
It's green anyway. Sims that comes back in. They split receivers, first down and 10, spotted at the 49-yard line. And they look for Sims on the carry. This kid Deeks, he's got it at the 40. Look at the great second and third effort, and finally hogtail out of bounds at the 35 by Dwayne Davis. Sims with a 17-yard gain.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's averaging 5.8. Guess what? The yards per carry just went up. And we're questioning why Albert Young's not in the game. Guess what? Damian Sims is doing an outstanding job right here. Seeing it, there's the cutback, and now north and south, and he's got plenty of speed, breaking tackles, good push up front by the offensive line, collapsing it down. Marshall Yanda, the right tackle, allowing for Damian Sims to get in the second level of that defense.
Sims, the junior running back, putting on a show here in this game. It is another first down and 10 for Iowa, and a timeout's going to be taken by the Hawkeyes. That is the first timeout that they have used. They didn't like the set that they had there when they looked at that Syracuse defense. Looking for the upset Syracuse. If they don't get it, it'll be their 11th loss in a row. They are trailing 10-7.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by General Motors. A new level of quality. A new level of confidence. Dr. Pepper. With 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. And the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Well, Syracuse, their fans trying to get this thing revved up again. They started out with a great offensive drive, the very first one they had in the football game, and scored. But since then, it has been an uphill climb, and Iowa's defense has risen to the occasion. Sims in the backfield again, first down and 10. 11:28 left to go here in the fourth. And they've got it in Syracuse territory. He'll carry the football maybe for a couple of yards. And they tried, Syracuse tried to pull that football out. Dwayne Davis did, but couldn't do it.
Now, they've had most of their success stopping the run when they're able to get 8 guys in the box. When Iowa formations Syracuse and puts an extra receiver or splits out a guy in the slot, now they got to go 7 in the box to account and put somebody over that slot receiver. Now all of a sudden there's alleyways in which to run through.
You saw Albert Young, their leading ground gainer, usually, not this game, over there on the sideline, and he is still there. Second down and 6 at the 31-yard line. They go again to Sims, and he's not going anywhere this time. He'll take a loss of a couple of yards. Joe Fields came up from the free safety to go get it. All right, let's check in with the studio.
Matt Weiner back in New York. Time for a singular All-America Player of the Week update. It's Akron's Dennis Kennedy, 3 touchdowns, including the game winner at NC State. Text VOTE to 87654 on your singular wireless phone to vote. Score yourself a chance for a trip to the national title game.
Syracuse fans are up. It is a 3rd down and a 6. 3rd and 6 for Iowa. Hansen drops back, looking deep.
Whitworth, more of the north-south type runner. Out close to a first down at the 28-yard line.
This game from the sideline, but seemingly every time he comes in and gets his hands on it, he's been able to do something with it.
Well, every time they go zone coverage on 3rd down, they're being beaten, and Iowa has always seemed to have the right play call at the right time. There at the screen pass, they catch Syracuse dropping off into zone coverage, dump it off to Albert Young, and watch him run for the first down.
He comes out of there. Sims comes back in on the carry, and off that right side, nowhere to go as he was going straight ahead, maybe a yard. Todd Harris.
Well, Gary, he's not playing a lot, but he sure is an orange heartbreaker. Albert Young was nearly a member of this orange team had it not been for carpet. While he'd been recruited to Young's final schools were Iowa, Wisconsin, Rutgers, and the Qs. His main reason for not coming here, he didn't want to play on that old AstroTurf that was covering the Carrier Dome field. His decision to come to Iowa has not been without some bumps in the road. His season ended prematurely after a torn ACL in 2004. Then, in 2003, he had the same problem. So he broke his leg in 03, tears his ACL in 04, and here is now finding it full reps for Iowa.
Manson has got Young back in the backfield. He's blocking. They throw into the corner. Wow, that was the wrong route run or the wrong pass thrown, one or the other. He got hit, but Dominic Douglas, the freshman receiver, went the other way.
A receiver can get you every time. I mean, right here, you got press coverage. I get outside, I'm on top. Keep going. Right there, you're going to, run the hitch when you got press coverage. You go ahead and you run the fade. There's the gray area in that. If it's a hitch, the guy's off, and you can kind of curl it up. If he's pressed and you get on top, if you're even, you're leaving.
He's got a cut hand. He wasn't even supposed to play today, the freshman. He's in there now. It is another 3rd and 9. Gonna roll out. Big rush put on, and he's gonna lose it. Sacked out of bounds. Chased down by Jamal McLean. Todd?
Well, interesting, Gary, in that last play, the first guy to come off the bench and talk to Dominic Douglas was Drew Tate. He doesn't have his helmet on. He's wearing tennis shoes and no socks. But he goes up to Douglas and says, hey, man, you're supposed to see the safety. And as Andre said, if he's gone, you're leaving.
There is the supposed starting quarterback, Drew Tate, out today with that abdominal pull. This is going to be a 43-yard field goal attempt. Sleckler, it's down, foot into it, line drive way off to the left. 43-yard attempt, no good. So that keeps the door open for the Orange. We've got 8:51 to go. We're in the 4th quarter. Iowa's lead is 10-7. Syracuse will get the football. Their fans are up. It is the offense up to it. They had 139 first half yards. They've gained 47 so far in the second half. 37,000 plus on hand here at the Carrier Dome. Curtis Brinkley is back in the backfield for Syracuse. Perry Patterson at quarterback. First down and 10. Syracuse, Brinkley on the carry. Pretty good hole. Gets closed up by the linebackers after about a 3-yard gain.
And I'm surprised. I'm wondering why he's not carrying the football more in this game. They had some success early running Curtis Brinkley. Then the play action pass from that. Little slant routes that they were completing to Ty Smith. They need to get back to that. Just go back to the simple things. Plenty of time in this football game. All you need is 3 to tie the ball game up. But you put together a nice drive, and all of a sudden, maybe you punch it in the end zone.
3-yard gain on the first one. This is going to be a 2nd down and 7. They split both sides. Looking again, little over the middle pass is going to be incomplete. Dangerously thrown. That was up in the air for about anybody. Brandon Darlington, who has not caught one today, the tight end, the intended.
Boy, that's a tough throw, Gary, because you got to just get it over the outstretched hands of the linebackers and down before it gets to the free safety. Because guess what? Marcus Pascal will knock you out, and you're going to pay a price going over the middle against that young man.
He's had 2 or 3 great hits, and here we go again. 3rd down. 3 and out the last time around on offense. 2 for 7 for Perry Patterson now, the last 7. He needs a completion here. A 3rd down and a 7 for Syracuse. There's that little hop. He's throwing deep. He's got a man open, and he's caught. 35, 33-yard line. Taj Smith, nobody on him.
Well, and he threw it away from the safety, the coverage over the top. Taj Smith, he put enough air under the football to allow for the receiver to make the adjustment. You see the drop here, reading coverage. Nice drop, sitting in the pocket, having to throw off the back foot just a little bit, but enough air under the football to allow the receiver to adjust for it. All of a sudden, we talked about it, just move the football, get yourself at least in field goal range. Syracuse right around that area now.
A 40-yard gain on a great catch by Smith, who's having his best career day. He hasn't had many chances. First down and 10 after the big 3rd down conversion, straight ahead. And a second effort will take it down to about the 27. That's Brinkley again. Curtis Brinkley, who had not had much prior to this season, only 7 carries for 28 yards rushing. I want to remind you, near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. $1,000 contribution from Chevrolet to each university's general scholarship fund.
Can we have 2? on one team?
Yeah, I once
right
read
now
that.
I'm liking Patterson and I'm liking Smith, the wide receiver quarterback combination for Syracuse.
We'll give Chevy
get
a
to
call.
Iowa later.
Barry Patterson again, a 2nd down and 6. Syracuse again looking to the right, and that's going to be incomplete, overthrown. Tried to get him on the comeback that time. And these downs go quickly. They brought a lot of people in. That was Jeremy Horn, the intended receiver. We haven't seen him all day.
And the offensive line for Syracuse got to be a little more stout up front in the 3-step game. When you drop 3 steps, you got to make sure you've got an area to where you can bring your arm forward without having to worry about throwing over an offensive lineman's head. Be a little more firm up front for Syracuse on the offensive line.
8 for 15 3rd down conversions in this game for Syracuse. Another one here, a 3rd down and 6. Again, that little hot step over the middle. Nobody even close. Not even close, as again overthrows a receiver, and again it was Horn, the intended.
Well, you know, I start thinking about field goal and knocking it down, and maybe I run the football on one of those 2 downs to get myself a little bit closer, to get my field goal kicker a little bit closer as well, make it a little easier kick for him. Boy, this is going to be a nice long one here.
Shadle is on a 45-yard attempt.
He's good from 46 last week.
Patrick Shadle doing the kicking this season for them out of Morgantown. This could tie it up if he can hit it. It's a long one. It's down. It is up. It is long enough, and it is no good on the right. It missed. Just barely had enough length, but it ends up on the right side and out of there, so they don't get it. So each field goal kicker last time around has missed it, and it'll remain a 10-7 lead for Iowa. A big chance right there for Syracuse, and they couldn't do it. Next week, a resurgent Nebraska team. They'll be in search of an upset against number 3 USC. Saturday Night Football. Southwest Airlines presents it 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Iowa now will try again to hang on to this football. That will be incomplete on the 1st and 10. Syracuse opened the scoring. Patterson to Smith, 3 yards first quarter. Iowa tied it up. 5:32 left to go in the second quarter. Manson on the touchdown pass to Chandler for 1 yard. Schlegger has kicked a 24-yard field goal for Iowa. That's the lead. That's where we are.
4 turnovers. You see the interceptions there for Manson, and Syracuse basically not able to capitalize on turnovers today. They've hit a few big plays, gotten in scoring territory of the Iowa Hawkeyes, and still have not come away with points.
2nd down and 10. Jason Manson on the handoff, nowhere to go. Real good hit on Albert Young. They've keyed on him all day. Tony Jenkins the hit.
Take your hat off to this Syracuse defense, because had it not been for the inspired play of this entire unit, and it's been everybody's name that we've called this afternoon, Terrell Lemon in the secondary, now Tony Jenkins, all guys making plays, Kelvin Smith at the linebacker position, they have kept this football team in this game.
Chandler has not had a second half reception after he looked like an All-American in the first.
Yeah.
Their big receiver. Here is a 3rd down and 12. 3rd and 12. Oh, misplay, ball loose. And it's going to be recovered by Iowa, but what a big play. Champ Davis in the backfield and a big collision.
And Kelvin Smith there as well, but you saw the other 3rd down conversions where Iowa was able to be successful. They dropped into zone coverage. There, they bring the heat from the middle of the formation, and right there, reading out the draw play, there he is, Kelvin Smith showing up right on time.
Fenster makers, they try and get this punt off in a hurry. 5:18 to go in the 4th quarter. Fenstermaker puts a high kick up there. Meisel is there, will take it. His first return for yardage, and he almost gets his head ripped off at the 45-yard line. Green just leveled him. Syracuse has the football. Time running out, but they're trailing by only 3. to go, second half. Syracuse fans hoping this 10-game losing streak their team has will end. Syracuse has the football. They are trailing, though, by 3, but great field position. 46-yard line, first down and 10. Looking downfield. The out pattern is caught, and it'll depend on where they mark it. And there won't be enough for a first down. Rice Moss got driven back almost as much as he gained on the hit, but it was a reception, and he'll have about 7 on it.
Well, it's been kind of quiet through this football game, and a good job of going to him in that situation. Caught a big touchdown pass for him last week on a strike from Perry Patterson. Here, just a nice timed out route, and his momentum takes him backwards, which costs him a first down, but Syracuse not afraid to throw the football in this situation.
Chiara's in that backfield again on this second down and 3 as they moved it into Iowa territory. Going to go for a longer gain. He's got a lot of room over there. That'll be a first down to the 40 and gets himself out of bounds. Perry Patterson.
Well, Iowa dropping in that matchup zone, which if you drop deep enough, you'll have everybody covered. But if you have a mobile quarterback like Perry Patterson, all of a sudden you open yourself up to him running the football, and a heads-up play by the senior quarterback from Syracuse, picking up the first down. Guess what, Gary? Getting out of bounds and saving that clock.
Taj Smith comes back in after the 8-yard gain on the rush for a first down and 10. Clock with 4:11 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Syracuse trying to pull the upset on Iowa. First down and 10. Patterson brings Smith in motion, hands off to him on the end around. He has to come back to the middle, and he'll lose yardage. He just came into the ball game, but he's not going to go very far there. Let's check in with John Saunders. John.
Gary, we want to remind everyone to tune in at 8 o'clock for Saturday Night Football. Jim Tressel of Ohio State has a national title. These fans do as well. They'll go head-to-head tonight at 8, ESPN on ABC. Gary, back to you.
John, thanks very much. That big game coming up here. Taj Smith, who just came in, carried the ball and got hit, has not gotten up off the turf.
Now, Iowa has a fast defense. I mean, they move around pretty fast and can make plays. So you don't try to go outside on the edges of a fast defense. You go right at them, and they've had success running Curtis Brinkley between the tackles, as well at times Deleon Carter, the freshman running back as well. They've had some success doing that, trying to beat them on reverses and trick plays and all that. I mean, have some confidence in what you do offensively and just line up and go at them. All you need is a field goal. Move the football. Get some positive yards.
All right, he is still down there. Let's check in with Todd Harris. Todd.
Well, talking to some of the kids around this program, they talk of Taj Smith, the player that is injured right now on the field, and they just say he is such good people. When you ask some of these players to recount their fondest Christmas season memories, many talk about bowl games or family trips, but for Syracuse wideout Taj Smith, he recounts last year's holiday trip to Bucharest, Romania. He wasn't there for just exotic travel. He gave up his holiday break to be part of a church ministry and take aid to orphans in Bucharest. So for 10 days, Smith used his sign language skills to make the holiday season a little nicer for some of the less fortunate kids halfway across the world. Not only gave up his time, but his only pair of gloves to a small child who was enamored with Taj's dreadlocks. Came up, they shook hands, and Taj realized the kid's hands were ice cold, didn't hesitate, gave up his only pair of gloves to the young man.
Kid would probably give him an ankle right now if he could as he comes off. That one looks like it got turned pretty good.
Yeah, talking to the coaching staff, he says he brought great leadership to this program in the spring when he arrived. And I'll tell you, he brought competitiveness at the wide receiver position, taught everybody really how to compete, which was has been sorely missed in this Syracuse football program.
All right, Syracuse back up to the line of scrimmage at a second down and 12 as they lost 2 on that at the Iowa 41-yard line. Smith, who's been a primary receiver for much of this game, is out of there for Syracuse. There's that big hop step, big rush, and a big loss. Oh my gosh, all the way back somewhere near the 38, 39-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. Mitch King. And I think Webema got in there as well. He led this team last year with 7 sacks. Webema, we said, suspended last week. He's back again.
Well, they run a stunt That TE stunt, the tackle goes inside, the end goes outside, and all of a sudden Webema comes free along with Mitch King. And then we talked about it. They can get tremendous pressure from just those 4 guys. They don't need to blitz. I think Klinkenberg, the middle linebacker, he came as well, but a delayed blitz on his part. Boy, they gave up a lot of real estate there.
Lost 16. That takes it way out of field goal range. 3rd down and 28. Looking out of the pocket, trying to get the first down, going to throw it deep, and it is going to be in the middle. Nobody there, incomplete. That was intended for Mike Williams. And again, Perry Patterson, good coverage. He had no one open. Pascal was out there in the deep coverage.
Boy, a big mistake. You know, you're trying to do whatever you can at the quarterback position, but in that situation, the last thing you need to have happen is to take a sack. And you have to realize where you are on the football field. If you're getting quick heat, get that baby out of bounds and get it out of your hands.
Carney will come on again to do the kicking. They need some big time coverage right here. Andy Brodell's the only one back for Iowa, standing back at his own 10. Long count, trying to get an offside. They can't. Good snap. Big carrier punt right there. Fair catch called for, and that's where it will be taken at the 8-yard line. So now for Iowa, it's hang on to the football. A 49-yard kick by Carney. Syracuse has got to find a way to get it back. 2:31 left. Syracuse has all 3 of their timeouts left.
Well, a lot of time left in this football game. If you're Syracuse, you want to stop Iowa here. 3 timeouts like you mentioned, and I'll tell you, if they're able to stop them, get a 3 and out, you got plenty of time and you're going to have some pretty good field position. A lot of guys crowding around that line of scrimmage for Syracuse.
Jason Manson at quarterback for Iowa has had a wonderful day here in an emergency start. They've got Young back in the backfield now. Young the only one back there. Long count, handoff goes to Young, and again he gets important yardage up to the 15-yard line. And again, it was Jamel McClain who moved in to put the hit on.
Yeah, now the timeouts start for Syracuse. Giving up a little bit too much on first down, though. If that's the theory you're going to use, you want to stop them, get the 3 and out. But boy, you get them to 2nd down and medium. That's tough going.
Iowa just trying to hang on here and pick up a win. This was supposed to be an easy game for them, but with their starting quarterback Drew Tate out of there, the one without the helmet, it has been tougher. But you can't say it's the fault of Jason Manson, who's come on to play quarterback, because he's had a really good day, except the interceptions.
Except the interceptions. I'll tell you what, he's managed the football game, and they didn't ask him. Don't go out and win it. Just manage the football game and allow the playmakers around you, the Scott Chandlers and the Calvin Davises of the football team. Let them make some plays. Albert Young as well as Damian Sims, and they've done that. They've stepped up, and they've done just enough to keep the lead here in the 4th quarter.
He's gone 14 for 28 passing with 178 yards, 1 touchdown pass, the 1-yarder to Chandler, and 4 interceptions that have cost Iowa, obviously, but have not cost them the lead. They've got that 10-7 lead and the clock down to 2:08 left to go.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to win ugly.
Yeah, that's right.
and you know, you can't paint this one to be pretty. It's been ugly for Iowa with the turnovers and field position. Syracuse unable to take advantage of it, but I'll tell you, we mentioned it, you got to win ugly sometimes.
You see number 21 is in there, Albert Young. With his going to have a streak. He had 7 consecutive 100-yard rushing games in the regular season to end last year. 8 total last season. And he's not even going to be close. He's got 10 carries and 47 yards in this game. He won't care if they win.
No, it doesn't matter on the plane ride home. All it is, it's a W.
Yep. All right, Jason Manson out there on the 2nd down and 4. Syracuse defense coming up in the box, and
I'll tell you, they've got 1 wide receiver. Andy Brodell split out wide, and there are about 10 in the box that are cheating up. Even Joe Fields, the free safety, is close to the line of scrimmage.
Young is in the backfield. The officials correcting something there. Get ready to go. Young's going to carry again. Big time yardage again, as he will bring that ball up to close to the 1st down marker. Joe Fields came up to make the hit. And it's going to depend on where they mark it. You see where the official's foot is. If that's it, it's going to be a 1st down. They got it. Let's take a look at our Chevrolet players of the game today. Perry Patterson, who's done a great job at quarterback, and Mike Klinkenborg with 10 tackles, 7 of them solo in this game. In recognition of their effort, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
That's just a good football name right there, Mike Klinkenborg.
It's kind of gives you the
fits a linebacker, you know, and he comes up with 10 tackles. But just like he just knock you out crossing the middle of the field. Good football name there.
Klinkenborg had 11 tackles last week in game 1. Gets 10 more here today. Iowa beat Montana 41-7 last week.
And that was a question mark for this Iowa football team. They lost Abdul Hodge and Chad Greenway and had to basically revamp their linebacker. Of course, Edmund Miles was the only guy that would return. Humphrey came in, Klinkenborg, and now Miles are the 3 linebackers for Iowa, and they played a pretty good football game.
They were very happy with the performance last week. Kirk Ferentz said they did what we wanted. They'll improve each week as we move along. So Iowa is also trying to avoid what has been road series openers. Each of the last 2 years they have lost. They came in here favored by almost 3 touchdowns. That changed, of course, when their starting quarterback was determined not to be able to play today. They've got the lead. They've got Albert Young in the backfield again. First down and 10. 2:02 left to go here in the 4th quarter. And again, he's going to carry straight ahead. He'll take it up over the 20 to about the 21-yard line. And Albert Young being called on for the tough yardage ground game here in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, now it's mano a mano. I'm just going to line up and go at you, and the clock's against you. So I'm going to make you chew up and eat your timeouts. Your final timeout you got to take. And now I'm just going to unleash my running game and the big grunts up front on you.
Syracuse has used all of their timeouts now. We remind you tonight, Saturday Night Football features the rematch that you've been waiting for. Number 1 Ohio State and number 2 Texas. Last year the momentum from that game carried them all the way to a national title for Texas. Let's see what's going to happen tonight. It'll be at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
You talk about the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. Watch Antonio Pittman quietly have a good football game. Running back for Ohio State. Everybody's kind of overlooking him. He's flying under the radar. A bit feeling he's gonna have a good game tonight.
So you're picking State.
I'm picking Ohio State in that football game. Just too much firepower on offense. I think they're going to have enough defensively against a young quarterback in a hostile environment. You know, even though it's a home game, but playing in front of a big crowd like that, Troy Smith's used to it. The other kid, Colt McCoy, he's not.
McCoy had a great opener for him, and looks like he's ready to play the position. But the big test, obviously, here in game 2. All right, they're going to hang on to the football with 1:58 left to go. Young stays in that backfield behind Jason Manson. Everybody jumping before the snap. Flags go down. It's going to be a procedure call, this time going against the offense.
Ball start. Offense number 81, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And that helps. That helps in terms of field position. Every yard at this point is going to count for this Syracuse football team. The second down here, and the clock, they're out of timeouts now. It's going to continue to run.
Clock starts as soon as that ball was set. Second down. 2nd and 13. They'll run that play clock down as long as they can. Hand off again. Young, a big pileup. He turns the other way. And despite all of that, able to make a couple of yards, getting back close to the original line of scrimmage. Little help from Drew Tate.
Yeah, and a good advice on the part of a veteran quarterback. He snapped that football with about 12 seconds. Now that the clock is running, you want to make sure, as the quarterback, you take it down inside of 10 seconds, the play clock. Milk it for every second that you can get off of it.
Well, there's the big play of the game. There's only 1:24 left. It is a 3rd down and 10. Syracuse wants to get this football back for a final chance. They're going to do it. They've got to stop Iowa right here. Manson, the handoff, and they're going to get it back. Albert Young gets up over the 20, but that's all. Terrell Lemon, who's had a tremendous second half, the cornerback, moved in and put the hit on. It's only his 2nd start ever. Clock's still running.
It's still running, and it's going to start as soon as the ball's set. After the punt return here, it's going to start winding, and boy, they are running it down, milking it for every second.
They're hollering out at Syracuse is trying to get
a fair catch.
Yeah, a fair catch so they can get that clock stopped. Max Michel is back at his own 40-yard line. They run it down. Kick is a high, not particularly long. Fair catch called for. Got it. That'll stop the clock with 28 seconds left. Now you got to get that offensive unit out there right now, because as soon as the ball is marked for play, the clock will start running.
Well, in a situation like this, you want to try to work the sidelines. The only bad thing about that is the defense knows that you want to work the sidelines and catch a couple of big ones and get out of bounds. So it'll be interesting here what Syracuse tries to do. Even if they catch the football in the middle of the field, get to the sideline and get out of bounds.
Clock is running. 25 seconds. Patterson, they got to get to within field goal range. Patterson looking downfield on the out. That will be caught. First down. Stop the clock. It's at the 39-yard line. Tim Lane on the catch. 18 seconds to go.
Get up and clock the football right now. Just spike the football. While the chains are moving, spike the football.
Clock will start when it's set. And there it is. So instead of a timeout, which they don't have, spike the football, stops the clock. Only 1 second, 17 seconds remaining.
We'll get a call here.
Yep. The previous play reviewed as to whether or not the ball was caught.
Well, I tell you what, they're a little late with this one, because the clock, not only did he snap the football, but there was a second that ran off the clock. So now they're going to have to put time back on the clock. It was a catch.
That last play will not count. There is a buzzer system in use this year from the replay booth to the referee. He gets buzzed. So obviously it came late, but he did get buzzed before the play.
And it could work in Syracuse's favor, because they're going to put a second back on the clock. Get up, get in the huddle, get your play call while this thing is under review. It'll be a catch. It looks, I mean, right here, Tim Lane does a good job right there. He catches the football and turns over. I think it's a catch. Turn over, get in the huddle, get a play call, get ready, get on the line of scrimmage to run the play.
Remember.
Yeah. Now get out of the huddle and get to the line of scrimmage.
On the clock, please. 18 seconds.
This is where the rules indisputable video evidence comes into play.
Absolutely. I thought it was a catch, and it's going to actually give him a second back. Now get yourself off the line, get a play call, and he's got one-on-one coverage upstairs to Rice Moss against Charles Godfrey.
They put 1 second back on the clock. 18 seconds to go. It is a first down and 10. Syracuse trailing by 3. 18 seconds to go in the game.
One-on-one coverage up there. Just take a look. Safety's up top.
From the 39-yard line, the hot step look. Big rush. Got to turn it. Going to get hit. Throws it downfield. And an interference call is coming at the 9-yard line. They got tangled up with their feet at the 9-yard line. That is Adam Shada of Iowa's defensive backs against Mike Williams. What a break for Syracuse.
Well, and Syracuse in field goal range right now. They're going to get a free 15 yards and a little bit of time. 9 seconds. You still got time to take a shot. Go to the end zone, but they're going to elect to kick the field goal right now. Right here, you see him get tangled up. Mike Williams running that corner route, and right there just gets tripped up. Good call by the officials, and a good job by Perry Patterson of seeing the wide receiver come open.
Talk about pressure on a kicker. They move the ball to the 24-yard line. It will be a 41-yard field goal attempt. 41-yarder. Shadle is on to try and tie this game. Patrick Shadle. Brendan Carney, who is the punter, is also the holder. Oh, it rolls! He gets the kickoff anyway! And it is good! Unbelievable play by the holder!
Bad snap here, but a good job by Brendan Carney, the holder here, and he gets that baby down just in time for Patrick Shadle to get it up and not throw the timing off. Kicking field goals and extra points, all about timing and rhythm for the the kicker. And boy, it didn't disrupt the rhythm of Patrick Sadel. It's good, and now we are tied at 10 apiece.
6 seconds left on the clock. Carney, that is cool as a cucumber personified. He never moved. He stayed down in his stance to hold the ball.
Wow.
Just took it on the roll, set it. Yep.
Yeah,
Beware.
sometimes in football games you dig deep to find the unsung hero. Guess what? Right now for Syracuse, Carney is the unsung hero.
And give the kicker some credit, too. He had to watch all that and stay in rhythm.
And stay in rhythm.
And he did, and it's tied at 10-10. Now you still got to play this kickoff. 6 seconds left to go. 6 left to go in the game, tied at 10. Iowa will try and make the run. That one's going to be bounced. Sims will pick it up over the 10, the 15. Down he goes, and we're going to overtime. A 10-10 at the end of regulation. Iowa, Syracuse to OT. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this word from our ABC station. A finish here at the Carrier Dome. We go to overtime. It is 10-10. We'll have another flip of the coin. The captains will be coming back out to take the flip. Tremendous finish. Syracuse putting that field goal up. Here are the overtime rules. Each team gets 1 possession from the 25 until the winner's decided. No game clock, only the play clock. You have to go for a 2-point conversion.
Third overtime.
Third overtime. After each team has had 2 chances, and if it goes further than that, you got to go for 2 on any conversion. Wow.
And this game has been played without the magical Drew Tate for Iowa. Had to sit this one out with an abdominal strain. And Jason Manson has been the guy pulling the trigger for Iowa. Tell you what, I've been impressed with Barry Patterson. Just his resilience and not quitting.
Yeah.
One more opportunity is all he needed to get his team into overtime. And boy, I'll tell you, marched them right down there, got them in field goal range, and they converted.
Syracuse with a chance to end the longest losing streak in the history of their program, which is up to 10 games, as they lost the opener last week to Wake Forest, 14-10. Iowa's trying to maintain their top 20 positioning as they came in number 14 in the nation. They have struggled the last 2 years in road openers, which they have lost, trying to avoid that here in this game.
You know, they were close last year in a game against Louisville and Notre Dame at the end of the season, Syracuse. And then you're talking to the coaches saying, we just got to learn how to win. We got to learn how to close it out. And now they're in that same situation again, overtime.
You want to play defense.
Got to figure out how to close the deal.
What did I tell you was going to happen in this game?
You said the final possession. yes, you did. Absolutely. They scored on the first possession and the final possession
of regulation. All right, there you see they've had the
First down, Syracuse.
So Syracuse will get the football.
Yeah, Iowa won the toss. They want to know, and I think that's exactly what you do.
When we come back, overtime, Syracuse will have the football, 10-10. Syracuse getting the instructions. You were a former quarterback. How do you play this offensively in overtime?
Well, I think if you're on the offensive side of it, you're trying to punch it in for a touchdown, because what happens, Iowa wins the coin toss, you end up kicking a field goal. Now they know what they got to do. They're trying to punch it into the end zone as well. Defensively, you get an interception for a touchdown, guess what? Game is over with.
All right, let's see how they're going to play this. Syracuse has the football. Each team gets one more timeout to work with. Brinkley is back in the backfield. There he is. Brinkley on the carry. They start at the 25. He will take that one down to over the 20-yard line to about the 17. Mike Klinkenborg is going to add to the tackles that he's poured on today, their leading tackler.
Really surprised that they hadn't given Curtis Brinkley more opportunities throughout this ball game. He had such success running the football early in regulation. And then, you know, they went away from him, started trying to throw maybe a little bit too much. Went with some other runners, and now getting him back involved in this football game.
Those of you watching the Washington-Oklahoma game, we welcome you. Carrier Dome, Syracuse. We just started overtime, 10-10. Iowa won the overtime toss, chose to be on the defense. Barry Patterson and Syracuse have the ball. It's going to be a 2nd down and 3. Brinkley again out of the backfield, up to that 1st down marker and beyond. So they're stud in the backfield. Curtis Brinkley picks up the first down.
Yeah, the last drive. Let's show you how Syracuse got here. Perry Patterson right here, a nice completion out to Tim Lane, and then the big interference call, which got him a free 15 yards. They ran the field goal kicker on. Bad snap, but a good hold by Brendan Carney. It went through, and we are in overtime.
Syracuse scored on a Patterson to Smith 3-yard pass in the first. Iowa Manson to Chandler 1 yard. Schlecker has had a field goal. First down at 10. Brinkley again on the carry. Obviously the linebacker's moving in on him now. He may gain a yard on that. Curtis Brinkley, he's having a big time out here right now. Mitch King moved in and put the tackle on.
Mitch King, they describe him as one of their playmakers along the defensive front. Mentioned it early that 6 guys rotate in on that defensive line, and boy, I tell you, I don't remember him coming out of the football game defensively. He has played just about every play for this Iowa defense.
Second down and 9. Ball at the 11-yard line. 3 receivers, 2 to the left side. Brinkley is the only running back. Perry looks, trying to lock one for the touchdown. Alley-oop. Fine defensive play, and there'll be no flag. It was a battle. Taj Smith and Shada both going after it, and Adam Shada, the junior, who has 3 interceptions in his career, almost got another one.
You know, Shada is the most experienced of the 2 defensive corners for Iowa. I like the other matchup. If you're going to go jump ball, go to Rice Moss, who's at 6'2", against Charles Godfrey, the lesser experienced corner, in the other side of the field, and you see it up top. That matchup right up here.
This is a third down and 8. They can get a first down. Looking again over the middle. It is incomplete on the reach in, and a flag. Interference. Taj Smith, who we saw go out injured, has been back in on the last 2 plays.
He healed quick.
He did.
I tell you, he got inside position on Adam Shada. And that's going to draw the flags, and all of a sudden Syracuse, this drive is going to continue. They'll have first down and goal right here inside the 5.
Pass interference. Defense number 19. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Where you're going to see just a slant route from the outside in, and right there, inside position, you got to hold him. The arm is around the back. Shada grabs a hold, and there he is. Asking for the flag is Taj Smith.
Now they'll try and drive this home. They get the first down and goal. Ball will be at the 4-yard line. Brinkley again is in that backfield. We're in overtime at 10-10.
Give me some Curtis Brinkley right here.
Patterson is looking to the sideline. Taking a lot of time doing it. He's still got 10 to go, though, on the play clock, which is the only clock running now. Brinkley on the carry, cuts back towards the middle. Maybe we'll get a yard and a half on that. And again, it is Siwebamo moves in to put the hit on. The Orange fans, it's been so long since they've seen this team pick up a W. It's kind of exhausting.
Well, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing a little option right here. Go trips to one side and then give Patterson and Curtis Brinkley an opportunity to get to the edge, block one guy down, option the end man on the line of scrimmage. They ran the option pretty good here at Syracuse for a very long time.
See what they run. Perry Patterson now. They will change it up in the backfield. Stephen McDonald, a big fullback, second and goal. Ball is at the 3-yard line. The big fullback faked it. They go to the end zone, incomplete, and what a play. What a great defensive tip by Merrick, who reached around and did not interfere.
Yeah, Merrick got away with it, though. Early, Merrick grabbed a hold of the jersey, and he got away with it as the ball was being thrown. You'll see it here. Play fake and a little in and out right there. And now he's holding, and he gets away with it just enough to turn his head around and make a play on the football. Right there. Nice play, though. You know, I always say it's not speeding until you get pulled over.
That's exactly right. We're not going to tell anybody that. As another big third down and goal. Curtis Brinkley's come back. 3 receivers set to the left side. They're going to go to the air. They look into the end zone. The back of it caught. No, incomplete. In and out. Tim Lane, who made that great catch in the 4th quarter, could not come up with another one.
And it couldn't have been thrown any better. Right here, throwing off balance, the rush in his face, right there between the numbers, and you got to make that play.
That has been the bane for the Orange men for the last 2 years.
Boy, Perry Patterson just battling at the quarterback position for Syracuse.
Shadle now will try for the field goal. 19-yarder is what he's going to try and kick here in the 4th down and 2. As we're in overtime, then Iowa's going to get the ball back on the 25 to have their first effort. Patrick Shadle. He has missed a 45-yarder, made a 41-yarder to send us into overtime. Now a 19-yard attempt to try and take the lead in OT. Good snap, kick up. It is through the uprights. It is good. So Syracuse gets 3 and takes a 13-10 lead here in overtime. Fans aren't sure if they should applaud or just sit down.
Boy, they let a golden opportunity just slip right through his hands. Perry Patterson, a good job of dropping in the pocket, reading out coverage, bought a little bit of time, and put it right between the numbers of Tim Lane. And boy, I tell you, just disappointing to let it hit and go to the ground. But the defense has been the story throughout this ball game for Syracuse. Right now, they're going to be asked to really step up and at least hold to a field goal attempt.
Syracuse against the Big Ten. Last win on the road, Michigan in '98. Last one here, Minnesota. Now the D's got to get it done. And Iowa's got the football. They stay at the same end of the field here. Started out 1st down and 10. Albert Young is in the backfield, number 21. Jason Manson, the quarterback. They'll use that 2-set position with Champ Davis, the fullback, the first man, that 2-man eye. There goes Young around the left side. He'll be cut down at about the 19-yard line by Terrell Lemon.
Oh, what an excellent job of blocking on the edge by Scott Chandler, the big tight end, to that left side of the formation. Dace Richardson, the left tackle, as well, just kind of collapsing the entire side of that offensive line or defensive line, and allows for Albert Young to get positive yardage.
Chandler we're showing you because he's been unstoppable as a receiver. So we'll keep an eye on him. He is so tall that Syracuse has not had an answer to covering it. 2nd down and 5. Clock running down. They've got a timeout to use, and they're going to use it right here. 1 timeout for each team in overtime. So Iowa's using theirs on a 2nd down and 5 situation.
You know, it's so critical that, you know, you burn it right here for sure. You don't want to line up, have a bad play happen, mishandle the football, and have guys out of position, and then you wind up turning the football over, and that's the ball game. Call the timeout, get yourself readjusted, get a good play call, break the huddle, and execute.
We saw Chandler, who in the first half went 6 for 65 in receptions with a touchdown. In the second half, he hasn't caught the football.
And we're wondering why. Why would you go away from a big weapon like that? It was basically unstoppable in this football game.
More great football is going to be coming your way tonight. Saturday Night Football, the rematch you've been waiting for. Number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Texas. You'll see it right here on ABC beginning at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Number 1 and number 2. Maybe as good as this game.
Yes, indeed. we got a pretty good one right here. We're just warming you up for later on.
Iowa's number 14 ranking in jeopardy here in this football game. Kirk Ferentz up and down the Iowa sideline. It's going to be a 2nd down and 5. No more timeouts. Iowa brought a large contingent of fans here into Syracuse, and a 2nd down and 5. Ball at the 20-yard line. Looking to the near side. Young has got it and bumped out of bounds. So they sent Albert Young out as a receiver that time and connect with him.
Sometimes you just have to make a play from the quarterback position, and that was a defining moment for that young man, Jason Manson. Right there, stepping up when you gotta have a play and a big-time completion. Zips it out there to a playmaker, Albert Young. All you gotta do, get it to the playmakers, Chandler, Young, Davis. Let them make plays for you. Just manage the game.
It is a 1st down. 1st down and 10 here in OT. Syracuse leads it. If Iowa can score a touchdown, they will win. Straight up the middle they go. A lot of blocking, and inside the 10 down to about the 7 for Young.
You know what? If I'm Syracuse, I may take a timeout right here. Defense looks a little winded. You take the timeout and regather yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if Greg Robinson doesn't take the timeout right here himself.
They can pick up the 1st down. They do not have to take it in as they are driving the football straight ahead. This is their power game. Albert Young, we thought we'd see a lot more of him in this game through the course of it, but They've gone to the air a lot more, I think, than many expected. Young will be the second man again in that eye with Champ Davis in front of him as a blocker. It is a 2nd down and 4. Looking to pass into the end zone for the win. He throws it away. He got hit as he let it go, as Jason Manson decided, nope, not this time. Don't have anybody.
Yeah, big-time pressure by Lee Williams, and a very smart decision on the part of Jason Manson. We've watched him force a couple of throws, and it cost him at least 2 interceptions in this ball game. Right here, critical point in the game. You just want to take care of the football. Nothing's there. Tried to play action, zip it out of the end zone, and come back on 3rd down.
The big man that Scott Chandler, that tight end, has just checked back into the football game. It is a 3rd down and 4 here in overtime. 3rd and 4. Ball on the 8-yard line. Chandler is set up tight end right side. They roll the other way out into the flats. It is incomplete. Intended for Herb Grigsby, and it brings up a 4th down. So now Iowa's got to kick the field goal in order to keep the overtime going.
Yeah, they blitzed the strong safety Dwayne Davis off the edge, and he forces Jason Manson to get rid of that football a little bit faster. Couldn't really square up and deliver a catchable football. Boy, good job by the defense of Syracuse.
Schlicker has got to get this in order to keep it going. He's 1 for 2. This is a 26-yard attempt to tie it. The kick is up, and it is good. He's tied it. The overtime continues. 13-13, a 26-yarder for the senior kicker. Kyle Schlicker puts it through.
Boy, I tell you, from this angle, it looked like it was sliding right, like it barely got through.
He wasn't in a big celebration.
No,
he saw
not
the
at
arms
all.
go up. But he got it done. All right, they'll try it again. Now Syracuse is going to get the football, or they'll flip again here, since we've gone through technically an overtime.
Yep.
We move to a 2nd overtime. And again, the officials are trying to get everybody out there as they gather at center. Those who are watching the Washington-Oklahoma game, we welcome you back here to the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. I'm Gary Thorne with Andre Ware, Todd Harris, and our crew. Syracuse has lost 10 in a row. They're trying to get a W up here to go 1-1. Iowa won last week. They are trying to preserve their top ranking. They are 14 right now. They've had a go of it. The starting quarterback, Tate, for Iowa, could not play. Abdominal problem. Has been just on the sideline as a cheerleader today. And Syracuse Perry Patterson, the much berated passer, has had himself a heck of a day throwing the football.
He really has, and has led his football team in this game. And then you talk about the other sideline. Kirk Ferentz got his 50th win as the Iowa head coach last week, and he's having a hard time getting number 51. I tell you this, wasn't supposed to be this hard or this difficult coming into Syracuse. And all of a sudden he showed up, and it was a big time fight in the alley.
And it's not over yet. The officials going after the captains to try and get somebody come out there for the coin toss. That's what the delay was here. Patterson was ready to go, but nobody wanted to come out there. And then finally Scott Chandler. That
defense. 1st down, Iowa.
How about that? Iowa chose to play defense in the 1st overtime. Yeah. Syracuse chooses to play defense here in the 2nd.
You know, I tell you, that's a smart decision. You know exactly what you got to do. Once you get the football, you're trying to hold to a field goal, all of a sudden they miss, then you go down, you kick a field goal, and it's over with.
Syracuse got this tied up with 6 seconds left to go. Here's how they did it.
On that last drive, he hit a big pass out to Tim Lane to get him down a little bit closer, and then a big interference call right there on Mike Williams, working against Mike Williams. Bad snap, but a good hold by Carney, the holder, and Saddle knocks it through to send this game into overtime.
Now we're in the 2nd overtime, each team getting a field goal on their first possession here in OT. Albert Young again for Iowa is in that backfield as they start again on the 25-yard line. Everybody moving, and another procedure call.
Ball start. Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
People coming to our game from around the nation. We welcome all of you just joining us here at the Carrier Dome. 13-13, the 2nd overtime just getting underway, and a 5-yard penalty call as Iowa get called for procedure. So it is a first down at 15 from the 30. Rolling out near side. Manson looking. It'll be completed. And driven out of bounds near that first down marker. Depends on where they spot it here. Davis, Calvin Davis, the wide receiver, hauled that one in. He has not been a big part in the offense so far today.
No, he read Tenard Jackson, the area outside defender here, who pulled up early on number 4, Herb Grigsby, which allowed the throwing lane outside to Calvin Davis, and a good job of holding him with his eyes up short so that he could get the throwing lane over the top out to Davis.
That is Davis's second catch, first down. First down and 10. Looking into the end zone. And there's a flag. Again, receiver and defender got tangled. Their feet got tangled. And it'll be called on the defense. Calvin Davis, the intended receiver, got knocked down by Tenard Jackson.
Really been impressed.
Pass interference. Defense number 28. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Really been impressed with Jason Manson in this overtime period. Has done some good jobs, some smart decisions with the football. Right here, working one-on-one against Tenard Jackson as Calvin Davis right there knocks him down. That's going to draw the flag every time. But throwing the football outside and away where the receiver, if he comes out his break, he's got a chance to catch the football as well. Got pressure on a bootleg. Nobody was there. Sail it out of the back of the end zone and come back on third down.
Now they will be at the 5-yard line, and they got a first down. First down and goal from the 5. They've got their Albert Young, the big carrier in the backfield. He takes this one down to the goal line, not in. He's about a yard shy. There you see where the football is. Albert Young on the carry.
Well, they're coming in with a short yardage package, an extra tight end or two coming in, and they're just going to line up and go right at this Syracuse defense.
All the big guys coming in for the Syracuse defense now as they'll have that goal line stance. There you see the scoring. Syracuse had a lead. Iowa tied it up, both on short touchdown passes. Handoff again, Young, and where's the line? Where is it? No call.
Got a flag.
Got a flag. Well. Touchdown is called. Touchdown, but hang on. A very late touchdown call, and a flag went down before the call. And it looks like it's going to be against Syracuse. The Iowa players' reaction.
Offside. Defense number 99. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Albert Young takes it in for the overtime touchdown, and Iowa's got the lead. Now Syracuse still is going to get the football.
Well, you know what you have to do now. The field goal won't do it. You got to go down and try to punch it in. And that's why you play defense first in overtime, to give yourself where you know what you have to do once you get the football.
You want to get this extra point. It matters a ton right now. Slicker's kick is up, and it is good. He splits the uprights with it. So Manson delivers the drive in the second overtime to give them the 20-13 lead.
Yeah, they give it to Young here, just kind of going downhill, get a lead blocker, and they get tremendous push. Second effort, they had him stopped. Second effort gets him into the end zone.
Boy, pretty close play.
It was really close.
No wonder it was a late call on the touchdown. Whether or not he broke that plane, but he takes it in. So in the end, their star runner, Albert Young, has made the difference out of Morristown, New Jersey. He's got 30 tickets that he had to round up for this game for family and friends. Chiara's going to be in the backfield. Syracuse now has got to score a touchdown and the extra point to keep it alive. Chiara goes in motion. Perry Patterson looking to the middle, fakes it, wants the middle again. That's going to be thrown short, incomplete, almost intercepted. Scooped up Rice Moss, the intended receiver. And Merrick again on the coverage.
They're just battling, and they're continuing to get tremendous push up front from those big defensive linemen, getting in the face of Perry Patterson, where he really can't step into throws. There, Rice Moss trying to run a little in, had a clear part of the field in which to work in. But Perry Patterson really couldn't step into that throw.
Remember, an interception or anything else that gives the ball to Iowa ends this football game. Patterson's 0 for 4 in the overtimes in the passing department. Patterson again back, gets a big rush, gets away, gets hauled down, he's sacked. Big hit put on by Mitch King.
Yeah, no blitz, it's just all defensive line. Brian Madison and Mitch King, he gets there, but they're collapsing the pocket and forcing Perry Patterson to step up. You see it right here. Right here, just pushing, and there's Mitch King able to get there. Boy, he has played one heck of a football game this afternoon.
Syracuse makes it that much tougher. They've got 2 downs to work with here. 15 for a first down. Ball's back at the 30 on a 3rd down. Perry Patterson trying to find some Syracuse magic. That'll be completed. Completed at about the 14-yard line to Mike Williams.
Let me tell you something. Perry Patterson has showed me something today. There's no quitting that young man. And you talk about if there was ever a question about who the leader of this offense is, it's Perry Patterson. We're talking about a guy who came from an option offense and has really stepped into this West Coast style, and now he's executing. He's gotten better and better each and every day that he's been in it. That's a big-time throw at a critical time in a football game.
Williams read the first down marker, went 1 yard beyond it, and then turned to the outside. 1st and 10. Big play. Syracuse has got to get a touchdown here to keep the OT going. Big fullback hasn't carried much. Will spin around and maybe get a yard on that. Chiara that time taken down by Brian Matson, the junior.
Yeah, had 7 tackles last week and a sack. But boy, I watched film on him and he just jumped out. I mean, you get him and Webema on the other side and they can really collapse a pocket. Klinkenborg in the middle.
I think Syracuse has got to throw the football.
Good front. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Perry Patterson now. This will bring up a 2nd down and a 10. Here in the 2nd overtime. 2 receivers to the left side looking for the quick slant. It's completed up the 5, up to the 4. And that'll be enough for a first down. Tim Lane takes it inside the 5.
I'll tell you what, bring me Curtis Brinkley. I need to see Curtis Brinkley in this football game.
Ty Smith comes in.
Yeah, he brings the explosion from that running back position that I think is going to be Paul Chiara that stays in the football game.
So they complete it. First down inside the 5. 1st and goal.
Right now, I'm telling my offensive lineman, look, I need you right now. Give me some push. Get this guy into the end zone. You got to get those big guys fired up. Looks like they're going to a passing formation. Maybe a quarterback draw.
Yeah, big overload here on the right side. Only Taj Smith on the left side, and that's where they're going to look for the slant to Smith. Oh, hit a ton of bodies. Flag is down.
Boy, it's getting tight in there.
They didn't fool anybody. Taj Smith was the only guy on the left, and he ran a slant, and that's exactly what Iowa thought was coming. And Humpel, I believe, is the man who's going to take the flag.
Even down here, Gary, you can give a 1-step inside like you're going to the slant, and then all of a sudden go back to the corner of the end zone, and it's a lob shot. Everybody playing inside position, Shatta as well as Godfrey, they're expecting slant routes now because you've had so much success.
Defense number 13. Ball will be spotted at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Last thing you need to have happen is a tipped ball. See the inside position by Godfrey? Well, it's tough to get in there.
That was Mike Humpel who threw a great block. Trouble is, it was on the receiver. Chiara comes back in, so it's a 1st and goal from the 2. It's the big first down that matters. Going for the touchdown to tie it up to the line. No signal. Not in. Not in. Tony Fiametta, who has not been in this football game. That is his first carry.
Yeah, he had 2 carries last week for 10 yards, but right there trying to get him into the short yardage package. Good second effort, but just not going to quite get there.
Where is Curtis Brinkley?
Where is Curtis Brinkley? Give me some Curtis Brinkley over the top, please.
He's not in there.
Still not in the game.
Fiametta stays in there. He is the first man up, and then the big fullback, Chiara, is the second man in there. This is going to be a 2nd down from the 1, and he's not going to get in there again. And it's Fiametta one more time. And I mean, Iowa knows where that football is going to go. It's between the tackles, and they're just sending 11 guys in there.
You know what? Perry Patterson has a history. He came here to run the option. Maybe you set him up in an option type situation, or fake it and let him just go one-on-one on the outside, try to bootleg this thing in. But it's not going to happen in the middle of that formation.
And that's Brinkley with no helmet on.
Boy, I'd like to see him in the game as well.
So here's the 3rd down and goal. They lost a yard. Now they're at the 2-yard line trying to get this tied up. 2nd overtime. Quarterback looking into the end zone. There's going to be another penalty. No question about it. He was hung on to. Tom Farron Warren, who we've heard nothing from, was the intended receiver, and Marcus Pascal just grabbed him.
Well, all of a sudden, we're getting a bunch of players. We said he played 48 in the first half last week. Now, all of a sudden, I'm having to do some work again.
He's playing 48 in overtime.
Yeah, we got to find names.
Well, we spotted at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Another first down on the penalty, the second one in this drive.
You want to know what my favorite play is right here? All of a sudden, we'll take a look at it. Perry Patterson here showing the play fake, and right here, there is no doubt Pascal, Marcus Pascal right there on the interference. You'll see it here. A little misdirection trying to sneak the tight end out the back door and underneath. I like the quarterback sneak here. Just go straight ahead with it.
Another first down. Chiara is now in there, along with Fiametta, who carries down to the goal line, and still no sign. He's not in. He is not in.
You're talking about a test of wheels in the trenches, and right now, Iowa turning and shutting the door in the face of this Syracuse offensive line.
It is 20-13. Iowa leads. We're in the second overtime. A second down and goal from the 1. 3 key pass interferences against Iowa.
Too much ball handling. Let Perry Patterson take it and just go straight ahead. He and the center, Justin Alden, they played enough football together. Just go straight ahead. It's on the half-inch line. Get him going right now.
Set up as a running play, obviously, with the 2 tight ends. See where they go with it. Nope, going to hand off again. Fiametta, and I'm looking, and there's no call. There is no call. He did not get in. Unbelievable. Right down at the goal line again. It is a third down coming up.
Fiametta's starting about 5 yards deep trying to get in there. Look at all the bodies. Look who gets lower. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes. He's not there. Can't get in. I can't for the life of me understand. You got 4 free ones on the goal line, half-inch line. Just run the quarterback sneak. He's right there. Just plunge it in.
Fiametta had only 2 carries last week. He's had 4 already here, and he hasn't gained a yard. A third down and goal from the 1 for Syracuse. And again, Fiametta stays in. Here's the option. It's carried to the line, and he did not get in. This Iowa defense,
unbelievable,
rising to the occasion, stops him. That is Alex Canellis.
The guy with my favorite football name, Mike Klinkenborg, comes up and makes one heck of a play. And now you got to spend that time out and talk about it. He went backwards on this option play. And right there.
Wow. They have had the ball at the 2-yard line after interference calls twice with a 1st and 10.
Well, the rule on running the option for me is if there's 2 guys outside of the end man on the line of scrimmage, right here, you got 1 guy, 2, and there's 1 more outside the screen. Go ahead and run it. There's too many guys outside the end man on the line of scrimmage. Right there, Pascal is the extra guy. If there's 2 outside, you check out of that play. It's not going to work. You cannot option because there's 1 guy that'll account for the quarterback and a guy to account for the pitch man. And if he makes a tackle, you can forget it. Bad play on the part of Syracuse.
So it's going to be a 4th down. Syracuse, 1 final chance to put it in. They've had it. 1st and goal at the 2, 5 plays and a pass interference, and they've gained 1 yard over all of that.
It's just a test of wills, and guess what? You've gone backwards. Iowa is winning the test of wills right here in the trenches. What a good football game, though. Wow.
Second overtime, Iowa leads at 20-13.
I got to stand up with you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give away my seat here. This is crunch time.
A lot of players coming in here from the sideline for both teams. Bryce Moss is a primary receiver for Syracuse. Here is Perry Patterson at quarterback. Splits them both ways. This is the game right here. They've got to go in. They hand off up the middle, and Iowa holds them and wins. Iowa with a great goal line defense wins it 20-13 in the second overtime.
Sometimes, Gary, you can trick yourself calling plays, and in that situation, that's exactly what Syracuse did. They got a big quarterback, a big strong quarterback, a big offensive lineman, and Justin Alden is playing center. 2 good guards. You wedge him in there 4 times in a row if you have to, and you run Patterson on a quarterback sneak. I got to feel like they would have scored.
Amazing play by the Iowa defense. So 6 plays by Syracuse, all on the ground. They gained 1 yard. Even with the pass interference that went their way, they could not win it. Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Gary. Coach, you told me before the game that if you lost this game, it wouldn't be because of your quarterback. Why did you think that?
Well, you know, Jason's a 5th-year guy. He's one of our best leaders. He's done a great job for his entire career. And, you know, we all have tremendous faith in him. He's an outstanding young man.
What did you tell your defense as you came into that second overtime and they had to make that stand not once but twice?
Yeah, there's nothing you can say down there. That was just all heart. You know, our guys did a heck of a job. Yeah, I don't know how many times they had the ball inside the 1, and the guys just played with tremendous heart and courage. Yeah, the guys never quit. Very, very proud of them.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks.
And he should be, as they did it without their starting quarterback in this game, and what a tough loss.